Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Tyvis Powell, Jason Lloyd. Plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
And we are live on a Wednesday. Mikey McNuggets, G. Bush, Tyvis Powell. We have Anthony behind the glass, Director Steve, and Earl kicking it with you guys today. A big Wednesday show coming up, and we did something on Friday, guys, that has led to a very special interview for us today. We talked about Jameis Winston and why he's quarterback 2. We all understand he's not taking Deshaun Watson's job, but he may be one of the most entertaining, fascinating, and funniest guys off the field. His team got wind of that segment we did, and they said, we got to get his trainer on so we can go over some of these clips and these workout videos that have taken the internet by storm. So, Coach Otis is going to join us at 12:30 today. A big show coming up, but first and foremost, how y'all doing today? What's up, Tyvis? Are you ready?
Ready for what?
That's the question we start with every day. Are you ready?
Listen, it's a big night tonight. It's like 12 NBA games on, but tomorrow's the biggest day for FanDuel because baseball season start. And, you know, the NBA really ain't my thing. You know, the stuff that you watch or that you're really good at, you really do terrible when it comes to, like, betting on it. Mm-hmm. Baseball is like my third, which should have been my first because it's like the best thing that I'm good at. But anyways, that starts next week. So FanDuel going to get a hot $10 out of me tomorrow.
Listen, man, right now your boy is just, you know what I'm saying, Carlisle Holiday. Your boy is out here getting money off right now, bro. I'm telling you what, on the FanDuel, I'm nice.
You winning?
I'm on the hockey game now.
Hockey
Hockey. I'm on the hockey parlay, McNuggets.
Hockey overs.
Listen,
overs.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying, shout out to FanDuel. You know what I'm saying, I done got me a little bread off the little March Madness. I've been rolling on that too. So, you know what I'm saying, it's 100 at a time.
You put 100 down?
No. I'm saying you got to win 100 at a time.
Oh, you slow grind.
Yeah, I'm slow grind. I can't go up top on y'all yet.
I mean, that's smart, though. That's smart.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to hit it big and then use day money after I hit it big.
I was trying to, and they kept cracking me.
See, what is E?
How many times do you come one leg away from winning big, though?
Hurt your soul.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Hurt your heart.
Every day you come in, hey, I had 17 out of 18 part
last
parlay
night.
hit.
I needed Bam to get 11 boards. He got 9.
It's nuts, man. So what I've been doing is just slow grinding. Shout out to that. And I've been doing, the NHL is a beautiful thing. If you haven't checked out, make sure you go check out the NHL. 2 games tonight, too.
Speaking of gambling, and we'll get into topics in 1 second. Have you guys seen this Jonte Porter situation?
Who?
Michael Porter Jr.'s younger brother.
Okay.
Have you guys not heard about this?
No.
He's being investigated by the NBA right now. Here's why. On 2 separate occasions, Jonte Porter, who y'all have never heard of, was the single most bet-on player in the NBA on a specific night. His props were.
Jonte was?
Jonte.
And how many minutes did that he
Wait.
Jonte
he
Porter.
in the NBA?
He's on the Raptors.
Michael Porter Jr.'s brother
is on the Raptors.
I had no idea
Correct.
he even had a
They
brother.
played together at Missouri. He went undrafted. He's on the Raptors now. The Raptors have like 4 guys you've never heard of.
Okay.
So on 2 separate nights over the last 2 months, the unders on Jonte Porter's props were the #1 most bet prop out of any NBA player. Well, wouldn't it be a coincidence that Jonte Porter Jr. didn't finish either of those 2 games? He played 3 minutes and got sick one game. He played 4 minutes, got hit in the neck, and said he hurt his eye in another. Didn't come back. The unders hit. Brian Windhorst meme. Interesting.
Do you know how many times I prayed for that to happen? You know how many times I prayed for that to go down?
You know what's funny?
I said, please, just don't come back in.
That's funny because that's you, especially if you take the under on FanDuel and you see that bar getting close.
when that bar and it get red
and it get right. Like if it's 20 and a half and they score 20, it's like please, please let them come out the game.
And there's 1 minute left in the game and they fouling, he happens to get the rock, and you know he's going to. You know what? I threw my phone a couple times, bro.
The over-unders were like over 7.5 points, over 5.5 rebounds. Low numbers. Now, granted, he's playing garbage time minutes. He's not necessarily rotational player. But once again, he got sick and then got hit in the neck and said he hurt his eye. Did not play. They're now investigating the situation.
How do you investigate that?
Well, the NBA, so each sports book reports their like biggest winning bet each day, right? So it was weird because it's usually LeBron or Jokic or Giannis or players who people would most likely be betting on.
It's not like
and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 star, Jonte Porter. Okay, it happens once, whatever. Star, Jonte Porter. Interesting. And then he realized he didn't play. There's no official conclusion, but the NBA is investigating the situation.
But they should be doing it smarter, right? So, like, you know how Sam Merrill plays sometimes but doesn't? Like, they just stopped putting Sam Merrill on the joint. Because they're like, if we put Sam Merrill on there and it's over under 9.5 points, like, some days he doesn't play. We're losing money. So why would they, like, if he got sick or hurt,
he's in their rotation.
He's in a rotation.
He's like their 8th guy. He plays the same minutes that, like, George Niang plays, essentially.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's not a guy that just pops in and out. But still, whether you're gambling, do it responsibly. And if you want to make money, I would not recommend betting on Jonte Porter in the future. He probably ain't going to play, and you could be caught up in some risky business. Speaking of risky business, Ant, before we do the FanDuel read, I got to get you guys' opinion on this. Uniform Watch, which is the Adam Schefter of uniforms across all sports, baseball, NBA, NFL, soccer. They put out a tweet yesterday that said the Browns, and here's the tweet, Riddell has advised retailers the Browns will have a new primary helmet for 2024. It is unknown exactly what the change will be, but it is believed the face mask will be white. G. Bush, we have all wanted the white face mask. It looks, and this guy is as on it as anyone in the industry when it comes to uniform apparel, white face mask 2024, you in or you out?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take that, man. I'm all about that, man. I'm about that life. You know, I need alternate uniforms and everything. So I like the white face mask. I like it's a nice accent piece. Now, are they going to keep those white face masks on the all-white helmets? That's great if they do. I like the all-white.
Yeah.
I love the all-white. What do you think?
Is it going to help them win games?
Look good, play good.
Hey,
you know how it works.
Tyvus. Yeah. Tyvus, you a brother. Don't go down to the conservative route. Don't do me like that. Oh my God! If it's going to help them win games, they could come out there and wear turquoise for all I care.
You sound like Bull right now.
Come on, man.
You sound like Bull. Let's be honest.
We're
all athletes here.
Listen, do I like a white face mask? Yeah. See, the face mask never was the thing that got to me. Like, the color of my face mask is different. That wasn't the thing that
you look like the dude at Old State that just didn't like the alternates. Did you like the alternates at Old State?
Depending on the all-white ones, yes.
Them all-white ones, them Braxton Miller alternates?
Why? First of all, they're the Tyvus Powell alternates. That's what you should be saying. Because Tyvus Powell played unbelievably every time we put them all-white ones on. So I don't know where Braxton Miller gets the Braxton Miller alternates. Like,
come on, man.
Braxton had swag. His field swag was crazy. But I made the plays when I had the jersey on. Go check it. We played it in 2013 against the team up north. Best game of the season. Then we played Penn State in the night game. Had a pick in that game. Tyvus balled out. So how could that not be the Tyvus Powell all-white alternates?
So you
the Coke Boys is what we called it.
The Coke Boys.
Yeah. Come on now. Act like you know. All white, everything.
Tyvus, man, I would have gave that to you, but you never had no visor with no shield, bro.
Yeah. I did have a visor.
No.
So I didn't. So this is the thing.
You had the Nate Sally package.
So this is the thing. So let me tell you about that. We couldn't get visors at OSU unless your coach checked off on it. And my coach would never check off on it. Right? So look, this is what happened.
This crazy.
Check this out. After we lost to Michigan State in 2015, that's what everybody on the team said, bleep everybody on the coaching staff. I'm going to do what I want to do. So Team Up North game 2015. Guess what your boy had on?
A visor.
Went right up to EQ. Hey, Kev, come on, man. Give me a visor for the game. I don't care what they talking about. Put that visor on the game.
Was it clear?
It was.
Okay.
You couldn't get the tinted in college. That's ridiculous.
Mike Doss had the tinted in college.
Yeah, they outlawed it too. Now, if you in the league, you couldn't get the tinted in the league. The only way you could get the tinted ones in the league, they might be different now. Cam Chancellor put me on to this, all right? So when I got to Seattle, I'm like, how is it that Cam is going in the game with the dark visor? Well, what you got to do is you got to get a doctor's note and say that you get migraines.
From the bright lights,
yeah,
right?
You get migraines.
Yeah.
That's why I did to wear sunglasses
He said the first time,
migraines.
The first time you apply for it, they're going to turn you down. But it's no way to tell if you lying or not. So when you go reapply for it again, they're going to give it to you every time because it shows that you persistent and you might be telling the truth.
So you got that off?
I didn't do it.
Oh, man.
Didn't do it.
I had an industry secret, but
I had the whole recipe of how to do it, but I just didn't do it.
End of the day, though, before we move on, the white face mask for the Browns are a great look.
Yeah.
The brown on black, it's classic, I understand, but it never looked as clean as the white one does. It accentuates everything else. It just gives you a little more swag. So big fan of the white face mask. In the chat, give us a 1. I'm going to steal a G. Bush line here. If you like the white face mask, drop a 1 in the chat. If you would rather them stay with the old black face mask, drop a 2. 1 for white, 2 for the black face mask.
I think it was gray.
It depended on the uniform
this
matchup.
helmet behind you got a gray face mask. I swear the helmets was orange with a brown face mask.
They were.
They mixed it up. They've
changed?
Mixed it up. Well, now it's going.
We'll go with all white then.
Yeah.
If it's gray, that's gray. It's terrible. It don't go with nothing.
All right, so we'll make this simple. 1 for the white face mask, a 2 for any other face mask.
The face mask is brown.
It's brown, right?
Okay,
yeah, that's what I thought. So, all right, and do a read. Let's get into Nick Chubb and his recovery.
All right, guys, I want to remind everybody that you can say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the tournament. Whether you're betting on a big upset or a 1 seed, it's time to go dancing on America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 that you can use on point spreads, money lines. You can even pick who's going to win it all. You guys just have to visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to bet on college hoops until they cut the nets down.
We got a ticket today yet?
We do have a ticket today, and it comes from our boy Darren Smith.
What up,
he
Darren?
had Page over 25.5. He had Indiana money line. He had the Caitlin Clark over 7.5 total rebounds. UCLA money line, USC money line, and the Gonzaga money line.
He turned $25 into $300. Shout out to Darren. He's in Vegas covering fights this weekend. He texted me yesterday. He was watching the show while packing. So that is a true A1 fan. We appreciate you, Darren. Let's get into this stuff today, though, guys. Andrew Berry at the NFL annual meeting said that Nick Chubb is taking the next step from recovery to getting back on the field. He's going from his conditioning rehab into pre-football activity rehab and should be running, sprinting, and doing agility drills here in the next few weeks. He did not guarantee and refused to say whether or not he believes Nick Chubb will be on the field for the Cleveland Browns in Week 1. But Tyvis, hearing Andrew Berry give us a positive prognosis on Nick Chubb's rehab, how does that make you feel about number 24 status for their Week 1 game against whoever said opponent will be?
Well, I mean, it's definitely going to come close. That's what it makes me think. If he's transitioning to more football-oriented drills, that's kind of like the step right before you get back to full speed. So that tells me he's got a shot to be out there game 1. If this is in Brazil, which we'll find out tomorrow.
Thursday, they make the announcement.
We'll find out tomorrow or not. So I like it. Obviously, nobody expected anything differently with Nick Chubb being the guy that he is. He's going to work hard, and it's probably his mission to try to be back for that first game. So it just speaks volumes to the guy, who he is, and how serious he's taking this recovery process. And I salute him for doing that, because with that injury, it's a lot of people that it could go left. You could think, man, maybe my career is over. But he's like, nah, I'm not about to let that be my last carry. That's not about to be how people going to remember me. So I respect him for going out there and trying to get back for Week 1 to help this team.
G. Bush.
Man, sometimes I'll have to just reiterate how devastating these injuries is. Like, I've torn my ACL and I tore my MCL and then my patellar tendon and all these other, I've had so many knee surgeries that there's a lot of people don't understand that what it entails with that injury. Like, there's people who've never had knee injuries and you've never felt what it feels like for them to put like a 6-7 inch needle in your knee and drain fluid off your knee like every day. And then for them to drain it, and then you got to go practice, and they got to drain it again because you just the wear and tear on it, right? Just the amount of excruciating pain you were in, just them getting the degrees back, the bending ability, flexibility back in your knee. And sometimes if they don't get it, they hold you down and make that knee go that far and hyperextend. So it's just like crazy the amount of pain and the time it takes. And then it also takes like a mental, it just kills you mentally. Like it's a burden because now when you come back, you know, when you're walking, every single time you think about making a cut, every single time you think about transitioning from one leg to the other, if you're jumping or you're running or whatever you're doing, accelerating, it's in the back of your mind. Am I straight? Am I cool? Is everything going to be all right with my knee? And so a lot of people, you know, when they talk about Nick Chubb, Nick Chubb's a beast, he'll come back. Man, never take that for granted. I know Nick Chubb ain't taking it for granted because, you know, there's a long process right now. And this is even a longer process to get him to be football stuff. Yep. You know, you could be in one little period for a long period of time, right? Like he's moved past to just getting, you know, back acclimated to walking and running in straight lines. But now's the big brunt of the issue. Can you cut comfortably? Can you run somebody over? Can you take a hit on that knee? Like you think about it, a running back ends every single play on the ground or in the end zone. Yep. There's no other in between. You either get tackled or you don't. And so, you know, for me, I don't take it for granted. I want to see him come back and do his thing. I just hope the Browns slow play it. You know what I'm saying? Give him all the time he needs. If it needs to take 4 or 5 games, that's fine too.
When I look at the Nick Chubb situation, anytime we get any news, anything that's not a setback is a step forward for Nick Chubb. And I'm approaching everything we get in that vein. He's going from conditioning to pre-football activity. This is pre-football activity. Prior to being able to play football, as G mentioned, these are sprints and agility drills, straight line stuff. You can't walk without crawling. You can't run without walking. Nick Chubb can't play football without knowing he can sprint and stop and start on a dime. We'll get to the football activities later, but in terms of the rehab process, this is the next step we needed to hear from Nick Chubb. It's a positive step in the right direction to seeing 24 back on the field, and unlike normal ACL tears, guys, he tore all 3 ligaments in his knee.
Crazy.
We call Nick Chubb Batman, and he very well may be a superhero, but he's not actually Batman. You know what I'm saying? You've seen Christian Bale fall off a building, get up and walk himself away, dust himself off, and fight 7 more bad guys 3 minutes later in the movie. As great as the Dark Knight series is, Nick Chubb is a superhuman and recovers way faster than the normal person, but he's not actually Batman. So as long as he's taking the necessary steps towards getting back on the field, every ounce of information we get from Andrew Berry, from Kevin Stefanski, from anyone in that organization regarding 24's recovery is great news. And to G's point, if it takes him 4 or 5 weeks into the regular season to be healthy, give me 12 games of 100% healthy Nick Chubb over 17 games of 70% healthy Nick Chubb, because come playoff time, that's when I think the Browns are going to need 24 the most, and making sure he is as healthy as humanly possible for that late December, January, and hopefully February, March. Getting him ready for that stretch is more important than having him on the field on some first weekend or second weekend, whatever it is, in September.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm putting on G. Bush's PUP list. These are guys that are not going to be playing during the playoffs, during the preseason.
Yeah, Nick Chubb should not see a single touch.
He won't.
He's not.
He hasn't played in the preseason anyway.
I don't want to see. I'll add a player a week. I've already told you Deshaun Watson ain't playing.
And you already said you was crazy for saying
he's
that.
0 for 1 on Deshaun. He's 1 for 2 with Chubb.
Deshaun Watson
now.
is not playing.
You crazy.
He could work it out the first 2 games in Brazil.
You don't even believe that.
What you mean?
You want him to work it out in Brazil.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Work it out in Brazil. I'm not doing that.
The distractions in Brazil.
See, here you go.
I'm just saying.
You're trying to start drama.
You see what he did?
Tyvis the drama. Tyvis the pot stirrer.
Hey,
no one ain't bringing this up but you.
I'm just saying.
Also, hey, he said
the human element ain't a thing?
Come on, you sound like Baby Bull today.
Stop it. So you mean to tell me? Wait a minute. You didn't tell me.
No.
You could go to Brazil and
Yes.
and just handle business.
Yes.
Sure can.
You can. It's possible. Yes.
And his girl is going.
Is she?
Yeah. She on the trip.
Okay.
We're going to make sure of that.
I hear what you're saying.
Also, the way Tyvis said that makes me feel like you have inside information
Wait,
as a
do
Browns
you-
employee
do you
that
know
you know for
something I
a
don't?
fact they're going to go to Brazil in week 1, Tyvis.
No, I don't know for a fact.
The way he made it sound like
Listen,
he did,
I was just
right?
in the building. I was just in the building on Monday, and they said that we'll find out Thursday.
See how you, this is what you could do when you on the radio network. Just go to the building. You just in there, huh? Just
I was
pull up-
working.
Pull up to the video.
I was working.
I mean, that's great, man. Did you get us some intel? I need some audio
Unless he
next
just
time.
spilt it for us, I'm not
I
sure.
didn't spill it because I just told you we don't know until Thursday.
You know the Browns are secretive. We shouldn't even know. He might be a mole.
Y'all see.
He might be. That's crazy.
Can you imagine if it was the ultimate role reversal where Tyvis thinks we think Tyvis is giving us stuff on the Brown, but really
No, he's giving them stuff on us. That's
Man,
what
Ty.
was going down. Like,
First of all, wait a minute. First of all, listen. One thing about Tyvis is I don't wear no wires.
you have a wire coming out of your mouth. You have literally have a wire on
Listen,
right now.
right
I don't wear
You
none
got
of-
two
I don't wear
wires.
no wires. I don't.
right, what about
Tyvis C. Powell don't see and don't hear nothing. And if Tyvis ever get roped up, the only thing that they gonna hear
Is that a wire type? That's
No.
a holy crap. That's a wire.
That's a microphone for the people to hear
Well,
me.
for us to trust you, go in there, and I need you to take us some footage on your phone.
I'm not doing that.
See? What's the
Listen,
problem?
I'm not doing that. Like what I look like.
We'll wrap
What I
up the
look
Chubb
like.
thing.
I'm too real for that.
We'll wrap up Chubb, move on to the next topic. But real quick, what percentage chance do you think Nick Chubb plays in week 1? Whether it's in Brazil, Tyvis, wink, wink, or if it's on that Sunday, chances Nick Chubb is in uniform getting
On week 1,
week 1 getting carries for the Browns.
10%.
10? G, what do you say?
I listen. I go back and look at what happened with Odell Beckham Jr. when he tore his ACL. He didn't come back until week 4, I believe, against the Chicago Bears. I think he played week 3 or 4, somewhere in that timetable. And I think Kevin Stefanski will keep that same energy. I think you won't see him very often. You'll see him week 4 or something. The goal, like you said, is to get him running in playoffs. Like, to get him running at the end of the year when everybody else is beat down a little bit. Yep. Now you got a fresh Nick Chubb to do your thing with, too. So, yeah, I think about week 3, 4, maybe.
Yeah, I think the chances of week 1 are pretty low, I'll say 20%. Yeah. But I do think there's a pretty high likelihood he starts the season on the PUP list, G.
Yeah.
Sit out 6 games, come back week 7. They keep the roster.
Nice.
They signed Deonta Foreman for a reason.
Yeah.
And we keep talking about how many running backs can they have on the roster. And we'll talk about Nyheim Hines in a sec with these new rule changes, because I think he's one of the guys who will benefit most from the new rule changes. But even still, he's considered a running back when you put together this 53-man roster. So the signing of Foreman last week indicated to me maybe they were a little unsure he'll be ready to start the season. And if he needs those 6 weeks to get 100% healthy for the final 10, so be it, Nick.
Yeah.
Take as much time as you need because the Browns do need you healthy. Speaking of new rule changes, guys, Tyvis gave an impassioned speech yesterday about the banning of the hip drop. We talked about the new kickoff rules the NFL has implemented. Looking at the Browns roster, top to bottom, which player do you think benefits the most from these new rule changes? G, start us off.
Hines?
He's one of the 3 guys I had listed.
Hines 57. You know what it is, man? That secret sauce. AK, if you build a T-shirt on that, just give me 25%. I don't need all that.
Hines 57?
Yeah, that Hines 57 sauce. You know what it is? Hey, I'm going to tell you what. He's going to get an opportunity, and it seems like the Browns had some inside info on this, some insider trading, because I was confused when they signed him, because I was like, well, he's more of a special teams guy. Mm-hmm. He's more of a guy like, you know what I'm saying, but kickoffs ain't, and then lo and behold, kickoffs is back in the game, and you got a guy that is one of the better guys in the league at doing it. And I think this is what's great about competition and diversity. The NFL basically looked at what the XFL was doing and said, man, you know what, that might actually work. And instead of, them having to come up with different changes themselves, they get to see the way it looks like with actual professional players, with guys who are the same speed and size and the same width and length of the field. And I commend them for saying, you know what, let's bring this play back into the fold.
And it's a 1-year trial. If it doesn't work, we go back to the old kickoff rules in 2025. So I'm all for it. I think it should be fun. Tyvis, who do you think benefits most from these NFL rule changes?
David Njoku. David Njoku benefits the most from this hip drop thing the most because, first of all, David Njoku is a very strong guy from doing his workouts. I understand why.
I thought you meant from the kickoff.
No, he said rule
No,
change.
he could be any of the rules.
I was like, look at him. He got more intel. David Njoku returning punts.
This
and
could
kicks.
be any of the rule changes.
all
Who
rules.
benefits the most?
Crazy.
Which Browns player benefit most from new rules?
Okay.
So I was going hip drop because if the hip drop tackle, obviously David Njoku is a very physical guy, and the only way you could bring him down is pretty much wrapping and rolling. And if you can't drop your weight anymore, those DBs is really going to struggle with trying to guard him if he does catch his over routes or slant routes. For example, right there, is that you see this? Like what?
Yeah.
So
Is that a penalty in the new NFL?
that's
believe
my
so.
point. You see how you don't know? See what I'm saying? So that's why they shouldn't even did nothing like that. But I'm not gonna go back into that. But that right, he benefits the most from the hip drop, the ban of the hip drop tackle.
So it's funny. Njoku was 1 for me. Hines was 2. So I'll give you my third answer. It's the guy we just talked about, Nick Chubb. When he does come back, and if he is healthy, he was already damn near impossible to take down by linebackers, defensive linemen, and defensive backs. If he gets into the open field, you're eliminating, to Tyvis's point with the hip drop tackle, ways for smaller defenders to try and get Nick Chubb to the ground. When he gets in open space, especially when they run some of these outside zones, which we saw Jerome Ford do later in the season, and I'm not quite sure how they'll scheme these up from an offensive line standpoint with Callahan out and Andy Dickerson in, but I assume it'll still be a staple of their playbook. I'm not quite sure what defensive backs are supposed to do when 24 is coming at them in the open field. Which brings me to my next point, which kind of scares me, and I'm curious what you guys think. Don't get mad at me. I'm just asking this question. I don't know the answer. Please don't get mad. You can't hit high on running backs anymore, or anybody. You can't hip drop. Are we going to see dudes go low again? Like, is that the only thing they're allowed to do? And is that going to open up offensive players to the potential of another Nick Chubb situation again? Is that an unintended consequence of this new rule?
well, first of all, David Njoku with Nick Chubb. If I don't care who you are, you're going lower. You're tackling low. First of all, anybody, period, you should be tackling lower. Anyways, because you're taught to go eyes to the thighs. So you're always aiming for the thighs. The little check mark on the pants. You're going to put your eyes through that, put your shoulder blade through that, wrap, lift, and tackle like that. That's how you're supposed to tackle anyways. Tackling is still going to be tackling. You know, I know that the Nick Chubb thing was different because it might have seemed like it was lower, but that's how DBs tackle in open field. You know, when you're going up against these running backs and these bigger guys, you always are taught to shoot them out, shoot the leg straight from up under them, which he might have shot a little bit too low by hitting the knee.
And Chubb was planted at the time, too.
Yeah, it's a little bit too low by going for the knee, but like I said, obviously a lot of times you're looking to go through the thighs and you just shoot right through the thighs and boom, it usually knocks their feet from up under them. So that's going to happen even more anyway.
But because you can't hip drop, do you think defensive players will target or attempt those kind of tackles more frequently now?
Yes.
Which could
You
lead to
either
more
you
injuries
either
like
going
that.
for it all.
Because they don't really have other options.
Yeah, you either going for it all, or you either going for it all up top, where you just gonna try to throw your shoulder into them and try to drop them, or you gonna just try to shoot them out. But if the days of trying to wrap up, the only way you wrap up, you got to stand there and hope everybody come jump on the pile because you can't drop your weight anymore.
Do you have that same fear as I do, G?
Yeah.
Or am I being a little too pessimistic here?
And my fear is also, too, that as the season starts and they're going to try to explain this type of rule, that they're going to be, saying hip drop. We got to come up with something better than that because it gets kind of
hip drop. Yeah.
I don't like the thought. I mean, you dropping your hips on another, it's crazy. Like I don't like that. You hip drop Tyvis is just too extra. Like Tyvis dropping his hips on people. That's a bad look. So anyway.
You always got to take it that extra level. G. I appreciate it.
I'm just saying, we got to figure out another way here at UCSS to describe that play without saying hip drop. So, but no, I think what you're going to get is the unintended consequences of this, and it's unfortunate. Go back and look at a couple of years ago, Gronk and TJ Ward.
Yes.
Gronk was a monster. He was barreling down on people. But Gronk was so big and powerful that he would carry you down the field if you couldn't tackle him one-on-one. So what people started to do was, I'm going to just hit him low. And, yeah, think about it. They talk about defensive players all the time. The one hit that you don't see with defensive players is the throw down the seam and they hit the guy low while they're catching the ball. Players try not to do that, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays, now what you're going to see is, well, I can't horse collar you.
Can't go high.
I can't have a defensive player helmet to helmet. I can't hit you with the crown of my helmet. I can't hit you, within a certain. I can't even put my hands in illegal hands or holding. So now, when you catch a slant and you already positioned behind the guy, in what way are you going to be able to tackle him with his momentum going forward and your momentum trailing? Now you have to try to hit his ankles or hit his legs. That's the only way you can do it. And now guys are going low. Guys are going to be hitting knees, ankles, and all that good stuff, and you're going to have a lot of blown out knees. That's just the unintended consequences. Guys are going to still get you on the ground. It's about the collateral damage, how you want it. You want the hip drag or you want that helmet on the knee. I'll take the hip drag.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely unintended consequences we'll see, and hopefully there is some sort of balancing out act to where player safety can be improved, but also not making the game two-hand touch.
But you could get flagged for the defenseless knee. Because
I ain't never seen that.
Because there's a strike zone.
Right.
True. The strike zones is the top of the pecs to the top of the knee. The bottom of the pecs to the top of the knees. When a guy's defensive, so if you going like this and you coming from this way to hit him, as long as you make contact from here to the knee, top of the knees, it's good. Anything else is a flag.
See, that's a moving target, though. It's crazy.
I know. That's why I always went for a shoulder. You want to do same foot, same shoulder, right to the chest. Boom! You hit it. Ooh, they gonna fall. Trust me, they gonna fall.
The other guy who is a beneficiary from these new rules, though, is not a player. It's Bubba Ventrone, who the Browns hired last season to replace Mike Prefer as their special teams coach. And we saw the improvement in kicking, but I'm not sure if that was Ventrone or that was just Hopkins from Cade York. And then in the return game, back in Indianapolis when he had Hines, very successful returner, he comes in, he's going to have a chance to prove why he's highly regarded as one of the smartest special teams coaches in all of football, seeing how he can utilize different return packages, different formations, the right returners. They brought Prochet back. Maybe they go to a two-returner set, which you are allowed to do in the NFL now. With this, you could always do it in old kickoffs, but in this new kickoff in the XFL, it was one returner. You can do two now, so we're going to get to see Bubba Ventrone flex his creative abilities to come up with unique and effective ways to maximize this new kickoff rule.
Well, he got to do something because I still think that's a phase that's not bringing a lot of energy. They're not winning games. Now, I will say, from Dustin Hopkins last year and Corey Bojorquez, the way he punted and flipped the field, yeah, you could say that they did their part. But as far as the return game goes, we haven't had nobody good since Josh Cribbs. I think, is Travis Benjamin the last person to return a punt?
DPJ did 2 years ago.
Did
against the Falcons?
It was against the Texans.
Yeah, so
Texans.
we need that aspect of the game, and I think the NFL is trying to, because Jason's like, get rid of it. And I think they realize fans still love that. Like the opening kickoff is still one of the best moments of football because it's a tone setter for offense or defense. If the defense goes out there and make a big play, that gets the whole defense and the whole stadium going. The returner makes a big return, that sets the offense up and everybody's rolling. So I think they don't want to lose that aspect. Bubba Ventrone, being a former special teams guy who made his niche, he's going to be passionate about it and he wants to find a way to help this team. The offense looks good, the defense looks good. Now we need to get that special teams going because it's going to come a time where you're going to go up against a team that's superior and you have to have that phase that's going to help them win the game.
I still don't quite understand it. Like, the NFL be saying stuff like, oh, we're going to get rid of this play because people be getting hurt. No, like, you're not really worried about that. You're just worried about getting sued.
Yes.
They don't.
That's not like, you're right.
Like, and you didn't get sued because players got concussions or players got injured. You got sued because you withheld information about CTE and concussions and the role of the plays after you play football. That's what you got sued for. You didn't get sued for some guy getting hurt on kickoff. So I never quite understood why are you guys like really eliminating this play when it's one of the most exciting plays in the game? It's one of the most transition. It's a great way to separate and give another team an advantage about special teams. Like we always talked about offense, defense, and special teams. When you get rid of things, you devalue one third of what football is about, the special teams, because you're taking the kickoff out of it. So I'm glad to see it's back. Hopefully we can get some XFL type throwback passes or
we
reverses.
showed a video reverse yesterday.
Yeah, like I need that.
I heard Adam Schefter on ESPN this morning saying the XFL rules, the return percentage should lead to about 1,000 extra returns throughout the NFL season this year. 4 to 5 a game, 17 games, 32 teams, about 1,000 extra plays. You saw the Steelers, as soon as this deal went into play, went and signed Cordero Patterson, the NFL's all-time leader in kick return touchdowns. The Browns, Bubba Ventrone was regarded as a top 5 special teams coach. If any team is positioned to take advantage of this new rule, it is Cleveland with a guy with Ventrone leading the ship and a guy like Naheem Hines now, who hopefully can get back to his 2022 form, leading their return unit. And we got to read, we'll move on. What's up?
Yeah, guys, I want to remind you that the Cavs still have a couple home games left, and if you're looking for tickets, there's no better way to get them than Game Time. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. You can find exclusive flash deals sponsored by tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and everything else in between. All you guys have to do is download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, you guys just have to create your account, redeem the code for $20 off. That's code LOCKEDON. Download the Game Time app today for last-minute tickets, guaranteed.
So we are a FanDuel podcast, but another sports book, which I will not name, but its initials are similar to Donkey Kong's, released their win total over-unders for the upcoming NFL season. And the AFC North had quite a few peculiar, I said that right?
Yeah.
Interesting, whatever the word is, win total projections. We'll start with the Cleveland Browns on this one, guys. Before we look at the rest of the AFC, before we look at the rest of the division, and before we look at the highest win totals projected in the NFL, let's start with the Browns. Their over-under for 2024, coming off a season in which they won 11 games, is just 8.5. What say you, Tyvis?
I'm bewildered by that because I think that you like that word?
What's good?
You like that?
Nice SAT word. Nice.
I said I was going to implement new vocabulary in my.
Well, you know you got to say it 2 more times before you can master it.
Shut up.
Anyway, 3 times in a day.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I know that the Browns' schedule next year, they're playing some really tough teams, but you know, when you think about all the guys that they're getting that's coming back, and you think about the momentum that they had last year, to me, it makes it think that they said it was fool's gold last year. And I don't think that's the case. I think that, like I said, I continuously say that it's a culture change that happened last year. And I think that they got the recipe. You know, when I was there on Monday and I was talking to Rodney McLeod, he had me fired up in the radio room because we was doing an interview with him. He was even saying, like, first of all, this is his last year. This is his last go year. And he said that they going for it all this year. Mm-hmm. You know, anything less than the Super Bowl is a failure to them. So I think that they'll eclipse the 8.5. I think they'll win more than 9 games. That's ridiculous. The worst team in the division had 9 games last year. I think that everybody coming back healthy, you know, Jerry Jeudy does what he's supposed to do, and Ken Dorsey does have this offense, or Kevin Stefanski, whoever's calling the plays, has this offense going. I think this defense is always going to be good enough to help them win at least 9 games. So I would smash the over on that one.
G. Bush.
This is is obviously the Deshaun Watson pendulum. Mm-hmm. We all know what it is. We've been privy to national, pundits and national outlets that if Deshaun Watson is starting, they're not going to put him over 6 wins. We've heard it time and time again. Don't know what you're going to get from him. Think he's going to be below average. I don't know what he's going to do. 6 wins for the Browns. I don't even want to cover the Browns. It's laughable. It's nonsensical. We had backup quarterbacks, P.J. Walker, DTR, rookies that never played. Joe Flacco came, We made the playoffs last year. Matter of fact, we came We had the second best record in the division. As a matter of fact, when you look at our record going into the playoffs, it was better than some of the people who had home round playoff games. At the end of the day, the Browns, if you look at free agency, brought everybody back, right? They even improved their wide receiver core, which was a weakness of theirs. They bolster the running back room. They go back and get guys. They get better in the return game. They sign all of their secondary back, right? I don't understand how you come in and say 8.5 wins. That's just the thing. That's the one of those things where the Browns aren't going to get a benefit of the doubt until Deshaun Watson comes back and has a year. And then people will be all on our jock and be like, oh, my gosh, well, you know the reason why. Deshaun was much better last year, so the Browns are cool now. It's okay to say you guys are good. But until we do that, they're going to give us that.
Gee, you stole my whole point there.
Dang.
The Browns won 11 games last season with Deshaun, DTR, PJ Walker, and Joe Flacco.
His name is Philip.
Philip Walker,
Thank
me.
you.
They bring back almost the entire defense. They swap out Taki for Jordan Hicks. If nothing, it's a minor upgrade, but it's essentially the same.
Right.
Offensively, they added Jerry Jeudy, an upgrade at wide receiver 2. They're supposed to have Nick Chubb back, a massive upgrade in the running back room. Their offensive line is still intact. DeJuan Jones comes back. That should be an upgrade. Sure, the schedule is a little harder. That probably plays a little bit of a factor in this, but the reality of the situation is this is all Vegas's take on Deshaun Watson. And Vegas is telling you they don't believe in Deshaun Watson as a legitimate top-tier quarterback in the NFL right now. But here's the good news, Browns fans. Vegas is often wrong. They're right on some things, but every time we show you a winning ticket, every time G. Bush talks about winning his hockey bets, every time Tyvus is one leg away from winning a parlay, well, actually Tyvus doesn't win parlays, so take him out of the equation. Every time Earl hits a parlay, that means you have beat Vegas. And if you have an opportunity here, and I'm serious, because I'm with Tyvus and G on this, I think Vegas is way off on this one. If they could win 11 games last season with Deshaun playing 5 or 6 games, depending on what you want to count the Indianapolis game, and they could win games with DTR and PJ Walker, and the rest of the brain trust is back, the offense is better, if the defense, if nothing else, is exactly the same as what it was last season, I assume they'll take a step up. You have a chance to bet responsibly, and there's a key word there, responsibly, to make some money on this. I think at worst, the Browns are a 500 team. At absolute worst. That is the worst case scenario.
You can't be 500.
Well, that's 8 and 9, 9 and 8, which gives you to the bottom line of what they can get to. That is if everything goes wrong, G. Bush, they're still an 8-win team.
Never listen to somebody who is emotional to a point where they say, I don't like this person, so therefore I'm going to predict that they're going to play bad. I'll give you a great case. Ben Roethlisberger was accused of a lot of the different stuff that Deshaun Watson was. But every year, as a Browns fan, you knew Ben Roethlisberger was going to throw for 4,500 yards. You knew what he was going to do, and you know the Steelers were formidable. Nobody was saying, oh, my gosh, he did this off the field. I'm going to pick the Steelers to win 6 games. That's asinine. That's stupid. There's a lot of people that get emotionally caught up in stuff, and for you to get emotionally caught up and say 8.5 wins, that's crazy. Like, they won 8.5 wins with tackles off the street. They won 11 games with tackles off the street.
We talk about all the quarterbacks. They led the NFL in turnovers last season, which somehow we keep forgetting that when we talk about the Browns last year. It's not just the carousel at quarterback. It was the inconsistent play at quarterback. They led the NFL in turnovers. The last time a team, I forget the exact year, but it was in the 80s, was the last time a team led the NFL in turnovers and still made the playoffs. Just based off turnover luck alone, G. Just based off that alone, take everything else out of the equation, the Browns should have like 15 more possessions than they had last season. And with Deshaun back and Nick Chubb back and Jerry Jeudy in the fold, there's no reason to think this offense won't be better than it was in 2023.
One receiver to speak about. David Njoku was the second guy. Both the tackles, oh my God, Minimowski. And you had a rookie running back. Like, I mean, I don't understand, like, why people think, like, you know, like, all of a sudden they're not going to be better with all those injuries and assuming that they get guys back healthy. But it's all good, though, man.
Well, you know why. It's for some odd reason, it's something. D'Anthony Bell sat here and said it. For some odd reason, people do not like the Browns, and I don't know what that's about either. I guess it's you get so used to so many years them not being good that they finally putting it together, and you like can't accept the fact that
you have to see it for a long time before you fully believe the turnaround is real.
Well, I keep going back to it. There's a lot of people that just don't like Deshaun Watson, man.
I think that's more.
That too.
And we got to remember, this is a Vegas line.
Yeah.
This is Vegas sets the line to where they think they'll get equal action on the over and the under. So people who like Deshaun look at this line and
There's
go,
no way people taking the under on that.
if you don't like Deshaun, you're
I
going
don't
to
care
take
if
the
you
under
hate
on
him.
that.
You're not taking the under on that. Not after the season that they just had. There's no way.
9% of our chat right now will disagree with you.
They taking the under?
There's 9% of them. 91% are taking the over.
Yeah, so Vegas sets these lines to try and get.
I want to know.
And now they'll
if you
adjust it.
smash under, first, you might have hit it by mistake. You just wanted to see. You just wanted to be, see what the ratings was because you can't see it unless you vote on it. So you hit the under just to be that guy. But if you actually truly feel that, I might get in the chat just to see what you said is the reason why you took the under. That doesn't make sense.
That's very easy.
It
But
makes
you know,
no
you know the
sense.
reason why.
No,
You
I
know.
don't care. I don't care about that.
You don't care
that
about
doesn't
that.
make any sense.
No, you
like
don't
logically thinking that doesn't even make sense.
I hate to go back to it.
That doesn't even make sense.
There was a
And,
tweet.
what was his record again? Even
four and one
as
as a
bad
starter.
as he played, he
4-1 as a starter.
4-1.
I put it out. McNuggets
You
put
gotta
the
be
tweet out.
kidding me.
I put the tweet out. I said, listen, let me know.
There's no way.
All the people who ain't in the camp of Deshaun Watson, let me know why. And, it got a whole bunch of comments, and a whole lot of people was like.
We did a whole segment on it.
A whole segment.
Yeah.
A bunch of people just like, nah, I ain't doing it. I ain't never going.
Even if you don't agree, he was 4-1 last year. As bad as he played, he was 4-1.
That doesn't matter. Win, loss.
What do you mean it doesn't
What-
matter?
what-
He was about to be better than 8 games right there.
Win and loss. Win loss totals is like.
You're
it's like-
fooling yourself.
Win loss total.
Just let it go.
Win
Let
loss
it go.
total is like the economy during politicians during.
You need to move. They need to move on.
When you start polling people and people use the economy, if they like you, they could disregard it.
Yeah.
I don't worry about it. It was a lot of fluctuation. He's doing the best he can.
They need to move on.
If they don't like you, you're the president. Why is my gas $3.96? Why is milk $4?
Ty,
You know why.
Ty, here are the reasons.
Move on.
I don't believe this. I'm just going to give you the reasons as to why someone would vote for that 9% on the under, Ty. A, you don't believe in Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. And B, you think some of the games he played last season, whether it be against Arizona, where I think G. Bush could have beat Arizona at quarterback, whatever, were part of the reason. 2, the schedule is harder. Just call it what it is. The schedule is significantly harder next season than it was in 2023. And 3, you think the Browns and what they did with DTR and Walker and Flacco specifically was fool's gold and unreplicable. And if Deshaun gets hurt again, you don't have that same faith in Jameis Winston or Tyler Huntley or DTR to be able to come in. And their backup quarterbacks last season went a combined 7-5. So that's why you would vote on the under. I don't agree with that. I'm just giving you the criteria and the reason
backup
why.
quarterbacks went 7-5 last year.
I'm taking the over. I'm telling you, it's a responsibly
even if they
responsible
do
bet.
that same thing, I'm still taking the over. 7-5, you're 2 games away from the over.
Well, the reason you go under is you don't think it's repeatable.
That's ridiculous. Let it move on. Y'all need to let that Deshaun thing go. It's
At the end of the day, G's right, though. It comes back down to people just don't like Deshaun.
Let it go.
Some people, no matter what he does, they will never come around. G, is that a fair assessment of?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Look,
That's not true. Because if he goes 17-0, win a Super Bowl,
No, that's just like
I think they'd be more lenient towards.
There's a faction of people. Here's how I knew it wasn't never coming back. Here's how I knew it. I was like, y'all petty as hell, bro. When they started showing him in the press box sitting there, and they saying, why ain't you down there with your team?
When the Browns told him to be up there.
What I'm like, what is this, high school? See, this is what McNuggets. I don't want to say this.
You know why they said that?
Because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. They never played football.
No, because in that same week that he sat in the press box, Joe Burrow was down on the field. And they're like, well, look, Joe's down there.
But that's the thing, bro.
that's why they said it. I'm telling you.
These dudes be sitting there like they be like, that is not a thing. Like I just be wondering, at no circumstances is that a thing when you have surgery. Nobody on that team is worried about you being on the sideline. Not one coach. Y'all guys got to. I'm telling you, the problem is they should make fans go to boot camps. Remember, you know how they got the State Farm commercial where they're like, you're turning into your parents?
Yeah. Yes.
And they're like, and here like, you don't need newspapers from 2002. You don't need them. No one needs to go to the locker room when they're injured and pump their team up. This is not Hoosiers. This is not Rudy. Stop it. We need to put y'all through classes.
Let's look at the rest of the AFC North according to that same sports book. And the Browns, as we mentioned, they're over-under projected at 8.5. The same with Pittsburgh, also at 8.5. The Bengals over-under on win total, 10.5. The Ravens, 11.5. Guys, let's start with the Ravens. We'll make this quick because I know we got to get to the other highest win totals in the NFL.
Under.
Ravens, 11.5.
Under.
Over-under.
Under.
I'm taking the under.
Yep, me too.
Bengals, 10.5. Over-under.
Under.
I think I'm going to take the over-under. I think they're going to go 11-6 this year.
I think they're going to win 10 games.
Under.
I'm going the over in that. We're all taking the over on the Browns.
Yep.
And the Steelers.
Over.
I agree too. Is there a chance? I don't know if this will work out. Is there a chance every team goes 10-7, 11-6 next year? Is that possible?
I doubt that's possible.
I mean, we did.
It almost happened
last year.
but the Ravens were above that threshold.
Yeah.
It's a gauntlet though, man.
It is.
It's a gauntlet. And when you look at, and if you pull up the highest win totals in the NFL, it's the very next graphic. 11.5, where Baltimore is tied with Kansas City and San Francisco for the highest projected win total in the entire NFL. A couple teams at 10.5, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Detroit, Dallas, Atlanta, which that one, I'm selling all the Atlanta stock if they're already at 11 wins to be their over-under.
That's crazy.
Philly,
It's because
Miami,
of the
Green
division
Bay. You have Houston and the Jets at 9.5, and the Browns at 8.5 with the Chargers, the Rams, the
Tampa
Bears,
Bay
Jacksonville,
lost a lot.
the Colts, and Tampa Bay. So if you had any questions of why the Browns were where they were at 8.5, it's the Deshaun Watson factor, and that Vegas is daring you to bet against or bet on Deshaun Watson.
That's crazy. Chicago is in the same breath as Cleveland.
I mean, I can't.
Man, that's wow. With a guy that they ain't even got their quarterback on the roster yet. They 8.5.
Hey,
tells me everything I need to know.
Hey, look, man. Just get ready. So I'm just let people know I'm gonna be really petty. I'm gonna be really like after every game. I might go find old tweets. Listen, I'm telling you.
Was
that you? With the big eyeballs, the eyeball emojis. Was that you? Oh, so you bought a Diddy record? Is that you? Too soon?
Also, we have the lowest win totals real quick. Let's throw them up there for 1 second. But New England and Carolina at 4.5, Denver and Tennessee. For all the talk about the Deshaun Watson trade, the Russell Wilson trade in Denver has been even more of a colossal failure at 5.5 while you're paying a quarterback $40 million to play elsewhere it just hurts to see.
I'm happy, Denver. I'm sorry, Ant.
It's fine. I understand.
I'm glad all the smokers come. They beat us enough in the past. I don't have no Denver. I don't have no sympathy for anybody that's been to a Super Bowl. So all of y'all can kick rocks.
Who is that on that picture right there?
It's your boy.
Go Bucks.
Your boy, I put him on there just for you. I couldn't think of another Patriots player.
Minimosi Studebaker is his name.
Whoa. What's wrong with you?
This guy.
Don't do that. Hey,
I thought that was
man a part of this shirt, right? You see that? You see that right there?
Hey, man, I thought that was a nose tackle.
Man, a part of that. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Greatness.
to wrap this up, the odds. So, if you want to take the over on the Browns or the under, it was even odds at -108. So, essentially, bet $1, win $1. At 8.5. On a confidence scale of 0 to 100, how confident are you that the Browns will surpass at minimum 9 wins or more? So to win the bet on the over.
They going to get 9 wins?
At least 9. How confident are you?
Sure.
90%?
Hundun.
100.
Hundun.
A honey bun?
A hundun.
Woo.
A fish. A whole fish.
I'm 90% sure.
I'm going to go 82%. 82%. I do think at worst case, if it is the season from hell on all accounts, I still think this is a damn near 500
I mean, they was terrible 2 years ago, and they were 7-10.
And that's my point. So even if all hell breaks loose, I think this team is just too talented. It's too well coached, and they have too much invested and talent-wise outside of even the quarterback position for them not to be at minimum 9-18.
Deshaun, I'm telling you right now, look when you're in camera 3. Listen, hey, bro, I need celebrations. I got jewelry on. I need you to have jewelry on under your jersey. I need you to be on. And listen, I don't care. Buy 3 Phantoms. I need you to play so well. You go get the Wraith, you get the Ghost, you get the Phantom with the Suicides, with the umbrellas in them. I need you. That's how cocky I need you. Go out there and get a Sean Taylor iridescent shield and wear it during the game. I need all of that. Take the penalties, take the flags, and we celebrate. And I need the bow and arrow. I need the rock and roll guitar. I need all that after every play. Get with Greg Newsom because he does that when he don't even make plays. So he'll get you together. Now I'm just playing. Shout out to Greg.
Don't put the camera. I didn't say that. Don't put the camera on me. I had nothing to do with that.
Be on IG, doing your thing. He shouldn't be on there. Buy 6 chains, a rollie, a bust down, and go out there.
Don't buy a bust down.
Touch them.
Don't buy a bust down. The resale value's terrible.
No, don't touch boys.
47. Yeah, you're right. We gonna throw these 4,700 yards. I want Deshaun, so I can get on the internet and talk my stuff to all these other dudes. Just give me the ammunition. I'm just begging you, my G. Give me the ammo.
And we need to make a point graphic of all the different projections G. Bush has made for Deshaun Watson. It started at like 6,000.
6,000.
It went down to 4, 4.2, 4.5, 4.1, 4.7. We got to have a G
47.
chart.
I've made a line graph before. We can do that.
Yeah,
47 gets all the haters
Yes.
off the sticks.
Yes.
47 in any 35, 36 touchdowns.
You're an all-pro.
You're
an all-pro at that point. And last thing before we move on, let's throw up the home and away schedule. We talked about it twice, but just to give people.
Oh, I don't have the graphic, but I can run
yeah,
it through it real quick.
Read it real quick for us.
Kansas City at home, win or loss?
Let's not go through it like that.
Dang, you gonna play the schedule game?
Yeah, no, we got to see. But just read the
No,
games.
so you got Kansas City at home, you got the Chargers at home, you have the Cowboys at home, the Giants and the Dolphins at home. You've got Broncos away, Raiders away, Eagles away, Commanders, Jaguars, and the Saints.
That's a tough schedule.
That's a decently tight. That
Tough
first
schedule.
little gauntlet is crazy.
Well, it's not in order. Not in order. They're just reading. But also, can I say one more thing on the schedule, then we'll talk Cavs for a sec? I saw someone put out the Browns have like the second hardest strength of schedule in football heading into 2024. No shit, they play in the AFC North. That's 6 games against teams that are projected to win 10 games. Do you know who else is in the top 5 in strength of schedule?
It's all
the Bengals, the Ravens, the Steelers. You know why? Because they also play in the AFC North. Strength of schedule preseason means absolutely nothing. Don't even bother looking at it. The Falcons are projected to win 10.5 games according to that sportsbook.
I can't believe that.
It doesn't matter. The reason their strength of schedule is so high to start every season is they play in the AFC North, which is by far, unquestionably, the best division of football. So take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. The Browns are a very, very, very good football team heading into next season. And you got to read.
Yeah, guys, I just want to remind you that this Thursday and every Thursday of the week, Earl does Ultimate 216. Earl, what you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow is part 2 of the conversation with Cecil Shorts. We stand on this mental health kick. On part 2 of this conversation, he's going to talk about playing in the NFL for 6 seasons, the devastating injury that ended his career, the dark space he was in, how he bounced back from that. He's going to talk about why he chose to stay in H-Town instead of move back to Cleveland, and what's next for him in his future.
Trader.
And make sure you tune into Earl on the Ultimate 216 show tomorrow. Ignore Tyvis's comment there. Let's talk a little Cavs, guys. They have 10 games left in the regular season. They have 44 wins as it stands today. They play the Charlotte Hornets tonight. This team won 51 games last season, and they took a victory lap. Hey, we won 51 games in the regular season. Let's parade that. That counts for something. It didn't matter in the postseason. But there are 10 regular season games left, Tyvis, G. They have to go 6-4 through the final 10 to reach that 50-win mark again. Can they do it? G, I'll start with you.
I don't listen. This is my problem. We are the free press, and we are giving these guys outs. This is a beautiful way. I can hear Kobe Altman doing victory laps right now. Back-to-back 50-win seasons is something that, in this league is something to be proud of. This core is continuing to grow together. And I just truly believe that, these guys are going to, have championship aspirations down the line. We just have to be patient. You better don't even try it, Kobe, because I'm going to tell them to rewind this tape early, and you already know what it is. They could possibly get to the 50 wins, but at the end of the day, that ain't what we're looking for.
I agree.
We ain't looking for none of that. LeBron James, again, I just want to let y'all know, it's not like we haven't been here. LeBron James won 66 wins here.
That's crazy.
66.
And
Do you know how? That's like
lost.
watching TV every game and they never lose. We've seen
Yeah.
that. So, and they lost in the conference finals to the Magic, right? We never got to capitalize off that. So they may do it. They may, get 50 wins and congratulations. But the Knicks is looking at y'all. Winter's coming.
Tyvus?
A half game behind us.
50 wins for the Cavs, yes or no?
I looked at their last 10, and I know they got 4 guarantees. And the Cavs like to do this thing where they get so inspirational against some of these better teams, and they're going to pull it off. So I would say, yeah, they're going to get the 50 mark, but I'm with you. I could care less about that at all. Like, y'all, what y'all need to do is once y'all get close, y'all need to start playing the schedule game and looking at the playoff tree and say, we try to play Indiana or whatever y'all do. That's what y'all need to be doing and figure out how to the seeding game and get the right seed. That's what y'all need because that's important.
Well, the issue with that, though, Ty, is 6, 7, and 8.
It's all right
It's
there.
all in within a game and a half. So while the Cavs may be looking to play the seeding game now, you may be positioning yourself to play the 3-6 matchup, but the 6 seed could rotate between 3 teams. Ideally, the Cavs want to play Indiana in the first round.
Yes.
Like, that is the ideal matchup. They play them in the second to last game of the regular season. And I do think this team, though, does get to 50 wins at the end of the day. You look at this 10 games they have left, if you want to pull that schedule back up. They play Charlotte twice.
Yep.
You better beat Charlotte tonight, and you better beat Charlotte to end the regular season. They're essentially trying to lose to better their draft pick. After that, that's a gauntlet, by the way.
Yes.
Philadelphia is tough. Embiid won't be back, but they're fighting for their playoff positioning. They beat the Cavs in Cleveland the last time they played here. That's never an easy game. Then you have Denver, the best team in basketball right now. I guess you could say the Celtics as well, but the best team in the West, the 1 seed in the West. Utah is frisky. That is not an easy place to play. They're usually significantly better in Salt Lake City than they are on the road. By no means an easy game. Phoenix, they're fighting to stay out of the play-in in the West. Think about this. A team with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal may not be a top 6 seed. That's how deep the Western Conference is. You fast forward to the next 10 games, you have a back-to-back in L.A., the Lakers fighting for a playoff spot, like literally a playoff spot. The Clippers fighting to have home court advantage in the first round with the Pelicans.
Soft,
that's the 4-5 right now. And then you finish with 3 games. Memphis, who wants to lose.
They should win all
Indiana,
3.
we'll see what happens. They should win those final 3 games. So if you take those 3 final games as dubs, you take the Charlotte game tonight as a dub.
4.
That's 4 of the 6 you need to get to 50. You have to go 2-4 against the rest. The Cavs are too good of a team not to go at least 2-4 against those teams. Hell, they should be 4-2, frankly, 3-3 at worst. But I'm giving them 4 wins, so getting the math together, I do think this team ends up finishing the season with 51 regular season wins, which is a great thing, except it doesn't matter because the playoffs is what truly matters with this team. Anything before then doesn't frankly move.
I don't like none of the matchups. I don't like Kenny the Jet Smith always talks about it. Who has the best player in that series? Who has the best player in that series?
Donovan Mitchell's better than Halliburton.
We ain't seen Donovan Mitchell.
Halliburton's hurt too, so you're getting 2 hurt guys.
You don't like them against the Pacers?
No.
Really?
No, I don't like them.
I think that's a
they
little,
should win that 4-2.
I mean, what's the season series?
They beat them last time they played.
They lost to them in the beginning of the season during the what's the name play.
They
right?
should win that series
Playing.
4-2.
I'll look it up right now. I think it's 2-1, but I could be wrong.
We just saw them play Miami get beat by 40.
They
That
should win
scares me.
that series 4-2. They lose to the Pacers, it's done.
Listen,
It's done. I'm gonna just tell you that right now.
I think it's an even series.
It's not.
I mean,
If Donovan's healthy, the Cavs should be favored and should win. It would be a giant disappointment if the Cavs did not.
if
beat Indiana in the
Donovan
first
Mitchell
round.
is not healthy and he is 75%,
They still should win.
They still should win because
They
Halliburton's not healthy either.
listen, I'm going to give you this. 76ers, nightmare.
Yeah,
I don't even think they match up against the Magic that well.
Pacers lead the regular season series 2-1.
Okay? We already know what the Knicks is. Bucks, Celtics, stop playing. So you telling me now, out of all the teams that make it in the East, you don't like the matchup against the Sixers, the Heat? I'll give y'all the Pacers, the Magic.
I like their
Knicks.
matchup against the Magic.
I do too.
Why?
I mean, it all comes down to Donovan's health. It all comes down to Donovan's health. But
You scared of the Magic?
Listen,
I don't get me wrong. They playing really well. Don't get me wrong.
They're young.
And Ben Carroll's doing his thing.
They got young legs.
But stop it.
But here's the thing. They too young not to even understand it. Like, when you go play the Cavs, it ain't like, oh, my God.
The Magic hasn't played in the playoffs in like 20 years.
So let me give
That's
you
I'm
this.
over-exaggerating.
If you play in the Cavs, what are you scared about?
Donovan Mitchell.
And if Donovan Mitchell ain't 100%, what you scared of? Nothing. You ain't going to be like, oh, they going to shoot us out the gym. They're not going to out-physical you. They don't got a secondary squad that's going to get 40.
Jared Allen ain't going to out-physical you?
No.
He getting 20-20s
Listen,
now.
it's not the Magic are not a great matchup on paper for
They're
Orlando.
not.
Orlando has two legitimately elite defenders. Suggs, the guard, one of the best defensive guards in all of basketball. Jonathan Isaac, who's finally healthy right now,
Jonathan Isaac
is probably the single best defensive player in the entire NBA. He can only play 10, 15 minutes a game. They're still slowly working way back in from injury. But they have two guys who can take out anybody. However, to Tyvis's point, Orlando's proven nothing in the playoffs. Like, absolutely nothing.
And we have?
I'm not saying. Hold on. I'm not saying.
And where did that trophy come from?
I'm not saying the Cavs have.
We are the more experienced
But it does.
team
It
now.
does take. It typically, some teams, some very special teams, jump the curve on that. But
The
a lot of
Hawks?
times.
The Hawks a couple year jump.
The
when they
Warriors
went
a couple years ago. But
to-
in most cases, and I don't think Orlando's a special team. I think they're a promising team, but not special. It takes what we saw what happened to the Cavs last season. A playoff shell shock of, this ain't the regular season anymore. We're not necessarily sure what to expect. And they don't even have the veteran leader that the Cavs had in Donovan last season to theoretically usher them into that next stage. So that's what worries me about the Magic from that standpoint. But
And we are.
without Donovan, the Cavs are screwed. We talked about this time and time again. Like, unless Darius finds a 2022 version of himself, unless Jared Allen continues to play at this incredible level he's kind of found this season, and unless JB figures out how to kind of reinvigorate this offense without Donovan, if 45's not on the court, it's going to be a short and disappointing playoff run.
I don't like the Miami matchup.
Hell no. No, you don't. You wanna see Miami?
What's
No.
wrong with you?
No.
It's just, and it's a shame because when you're a secondary player,
Is Tyler Hero coming back?
He's supposed to be back at some point.
I mean, when you're Darius Garland, you're the secondary player, and the main player's out. You're supposed to be consistent in 26, 27, 28 points.
Yeah, he struggled.
I can't believe
He struggled.
what he's been
He's been
doing.
bad this year.
I
He's
mean,
been bad.
it's to the point where it's like, dude, like,
Yeah, no, it has not been good.
dude, what are you doing? Like, you got to show, and the funny thing is, everybody knows you got the ability to do it because you did it. You like a couple weeks ago, you had like 26, 28 point games. And like your last like 5 or 6 performances,
These little 12s and 13s.
I'm like, dude,
That ain't it. That's not
what are you doing?
Well, speaking of Darius, we saw against Miami, they completely threw Darius and the entire team, frankly, and JB Bickerstaff included, out of a loop, right? They did some things defensively that Cleveland hadn't seen, and they didn't even look prepared for. It's a copycat league in the NBA. You know, same thing in the NFL. You do something one week, the next team sees it, they implement it. Right, Tyvis? That's how it works in football.
Yes.
In basketball, it's an even quicker turnaround. And Charlotte tried to do a few things against the Cavs on Monday, similar to what Miami tried to do on Sunday. The difference is Charlotte's not nearly as good of a team. Defensively, they're not nearly as good individually, and the Cavs are able to take advantage. So I got a couple clips. You guys want to see a couple clips of
Yes,
what
sir.
Darius actually did? This is not just Darius. This is
Okay.
Darius. This is a big-to-big oop. We got 3 we'll break down real
Who
quick.
is you, LeBron and JJ Redick?
We're doing a little try. We figured we'd try. We
Let's
were going to do
see,
this on the
go ahead,
ultimate.
roll it. Let it-
Me and Jason were going to do this on a Cavs show last night. We ran out of time, so we figured
Roll
we'd
it,
throw it in
McNuggets.
here. All right. This is how Darius attacks some drop coverage yesterday. If you guys aren't familiar with what drop coverage is, it's when in a pick and roll situation, the guy guarding, play the clip, Ant, whenever you're ready. Yeah, the guy guarding the screener, in this case, it is Nick Richards, drops off, giving Darius plenty of room to operate. That's a wide open 3 that he hasn't been making. But if that shot's open, he's got to shoot it every single time. Every single time. We'll see it again. They're going to give you that much room, Darius. You have to step up, make that shot, or they're going to just continue to play way off you. They did it again in the second quarter. He comes off. Instead of shooting it here, he tries to get 2 feet in the paint. A beautiful pass to Karis LeVert because he's wide open. I'm going to show you what Nick Richards did to get lost. Nick Richards, not a great defensive player. Watch number 4. Ty, you know how you talk about the spinning? Yeah, he realized he completely lost anybody. So if they're going to play drop coverage off Darius like this, he's got to make him pay. You got to make the defense pay. And in those two instances, whether it's a shot, getting 2 feet in the paint, that's how he was able to take advantage against Charlotte. Now, the other coverage Miami used was they blitzed him to try to get the ball out of Darius's hands. Now, he is an over-dribbler at times. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Now, against blitz coverage, hey, take the next clip whenever you're ready. Against blitz coverage, you can't hold the ball too long. Here's Darius in 2 different situations, making quick decisions, which leads to open buckets for Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Here's the first one. Defender steps out, boom.
That's a nice move.
That's a nice little pocket pass.
Yeah.
Not a lot of space, gets it through. Defense can't recover in time. Mobley gets an easy deuce. But importantly to watch, how quickly he makes that decision. Here he is, 2-3 dribbles, goes right past Pajemski, forces the help, dump off. 1-2 dribbles and go, Darius. Now, he took one before that, before he actually went to set it up. Fine. But it's the quick decision-making Darius has to implement to hopefully get himself in some rhythm. When he's taking 5, 6, 7 dribbles going side to side, it's taking time off the shot clock. They're not getting good offense. Move on to the next one, Ant. Let's keep this thing rolling. We got 3 or 4. This was my favorite play from the entire game. Check out this big-to-big alley-oop here in a sec. They blitz this screen. Allen to Mobley, dunk city. If that's a shooter in the corner, I'll show you here in 1 sec. That could be an open 3. In this case, it's a dunk. But they blitz the screen. What does he immediately do? Kicks it to Jared Allen. Wide open. In the middle of the paint. If that's Max Strus in the corner, that's George Niang. Open 3 ball, that's his defender. Mobley's not a shooter, comes in. Big to big hoop, can't draw it up any better than that. But once again, it was the quick decision making by Darius. Comes off the screen, 1 dribble, out his hand. You can't rotate quickly enough to get back to defend that. And here's the last clip just for fun here. This has nothing to do with Darius Garland. This is just George Niang being a really smart basketball player, turning Miles Bridges into a top here. I'm going to spot shadow him on a sec. You may not notice anything on the first thing, but we're going to spot shadow Miles Bridges. Check out the slight relocation here of George Niang. That's Miles Bridges. He's guarding George Niang. Keep an eye on him right there. George, 2-3 steps. That's a full spin. Tyvis, remember when we were looking at the oops, I effed up play upstairs?
Rayshawn Jenkins.
Oops, I lost the assignment.
Yeah,
he drops his head. He knows he screwed up. That was just the Cavs executing offensively. They took what they learned against Miami. They tried to make some fixes against Charlotte. It worked against Charlotte. Charlotte is here defensively. Miami is here. We got to see him do it against good teams, but at least it was positive to see JB, Darius, Evan, and everyone on that offense kind of come together. All right, this is what they did to us. How can we counter it? They countered it against Charlotte. We'll see if they can do it against better teams. But at least it was a step in the right direction after that absolute debacle on Sunday night.
Well, it lets you know that, first of all, when you see that, it shows you that Darius can be a really good point guard. And the good thing is that he learned from what Miami did. When Charlotte came and he saw it again, he was able to make better decisions this time. So it shows you that he has the ability and he's learning. Maybe this helps him become better in the playoffs because they're going to blitz him in the playoffs.
Well, when they come with that blitz, they're not going to sit back off that pick and roll.
They're going to play it better, but at least his mind is sped up. You know, I was listening to LeBron talk about it today as I was driving in today. He was,
great podcast, him and JJ.
Yeah, him
really
and JJ.
Good.
They was talking about it, and he was like, he said, I've been on the court, and people was like, let me get forward. They want to play ones. Everybody want to play one-on-one. He's like, no, we're going to double team you because you got 40 points. And he was like, I want to know what you're going to do when we send this double team to you. All right, now you got to speed your mind up and make decisions. And that's exactly what Darius was doing. They blitzed him, and he was like, all right, I got to get rid of the ball. And he was able to make the right decisions. And now once you blitz somebody and you're able to make the right decisions, you need that other guy, like the oop to Mobley that Jared Allen threw. His mind was sped up, which we talked about a couple days ago, that Jared Allen is actually really good, a good passer this year. So he actually knows what to do with the ball. Obviously, when you have Donovan Mitchell out there, you'll always have that outlet because that's what the Knicks did. They blitzed Donovan and
they made Darius
do the stuff.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you'll be a little bit more comfortable when Donovan is out there. But it's nice to know that if you are the guy that they decide to blitz, you know what to do, and you're getting your team ready. That's what it's about. Seeing these looks now, trying to go against all these looks, and let your teammates know how you're going to respond to this. So when the playoffs come, it's not foreign to them. Everybody's like, what are you doing? We need to know how you're going to play towards this in the playoffs so we know how to react as a team. We know how to get to these open spots so we'll be better for you in the playoffs. And it's nice that the Cavs is learning these things towards the back end of their season. So when they go against these teams in the playoffs and they do things, players know how to react to it.
He lose you, G?
No.
You're just not buying anything to the playoffs.
Like,
You're just not. Hey, that's fair. I can't even fault someone for doing that.
well, here's the thing, because people take that next step. Like when you see them on that next step,
Said, did he lose you?
like when you come to that next step, and it's like, they blitzing you, they get the ball out of your hands, you dribbling around, turnovers is picking up, maybe your shots is not falling. What are you gonna do? Like, I know in the playoffs, you need superstars. You don't need role guys. Superstars is what you need, because role guys disappear from game to game. Right? That's why LeBron is always saying, well, I gotta make a decision whether I'm going to be aggressive or I'm going to let the game come to me. He's more aggressive on the road because you got to keep your team in the game on the road. Like, you might get blown out. Like, in playoffs, the game could be over in the first quarter. Yeah. It's done. So what you need to do at home is I got time I'm gonna facilitate. I'm gonna get Strus 6 points. I'm going to get Isaac Okoro a couple points here, make sure he's playing defense. Let me get out in transition, maybe get a couple of threes from Darius. And then all of a sudden, the game is a little easier for the role players. But my thing is this. He's going to have to, if the Cavs want to make a run or they want to win a first-round series, he's going to have to be 24, 25 points. 19, 18 ain't good enough. And you're going to need Donovan to be at his 28. Those stars got to have them points, because you can't count on the Dean Wades and the Strus and the Niangs from game to game in the playoffs. Yeah. So he's going to have to work on that.
Yeah, I think it's for Darius a lot, it's just the processing.
Yep.
And the quick decision making. When he plays with pace and tempo, I think he's a lot better than when he tries to slow the game down.
Being very intentional. Like, one of them you saw is 1-2 pass. 1-2, I'm to the rack. Yeah. Oh, you sagging off or pulling up. It got to be automatic. Yep. Sometimes when he slow it down and he trying to probe and do a Steve Nash thing, like Jason said, that ain't your game, bro.
No. And with Donovan back, and he's expected to be back, JB has said once again, no exact timetable for Donovan, Strus, and Dean Wade, but they're all expected to be back before the end of the regular season.
Before I let you do that, how many? If you had to ask right now, who's in a rotation for the playoffs? Because I don't know. I could tell you.
I think he plays 8, assuming everyone's healthy. Donovan, Darius, Strus, Allen, Mobley, Isaac, Karras, and
Niang.
Dean Wade or Niang. You have your hot hand.
Yeah.
Your hot hand. If you need more defense, Wade. If you need more offense, Niang.
I think so. Dang, Sarah Merrill ain't even in.
Well, listen. When Merrill shoots 44%, he has to be in the rotation. He has not shot 44% since that 20-game stretch. He's about 37 since.
What is he on for the whole season?
Like 41. Which is still very good.
Still crazy.
But since that unbelievable hot streak, he's cooled off a little bit. And if he's not making shots, and you know me, I'm the biggest Sam Merrill fan on the show. I think he's a phenomenal player. We got to get him on the show. It's my off-season goal. We're going to get Sam Merrill in. I want to do a shooting contest with Sam Merrill. But
that'd be great.
I'm going to get my ass kicked.
Smoke.
I'm going to get my ass kicked, but I think it'd be a lot of fun. He doesn't offer enough outside of his shooting that if he's not an elite shooting at an elite level in the playoffs, they're just going to hunt him. They're going to hunt him.
We're only looking for small spurts, McNuggets. We ain't looking for like 10, 15 minutes.
So you said that stars win games?
Yes.
In a 7-game series, and LeBron's the perfect example of this, LeBron's going to win you 3 of those games. Your role player's going to win you 1 game. And it could be a Sam Merrill game.
Yeah.
It could be a George Niang game. He had 5 threes against Charlotte last night.
Or Karis
it could be a Karis LeVert game.
Play game 6.
So it is all imperative that you need your stars at their best, but then it's the role guys who do come on and step in, and Jason died on this hill last year. Danny Green's going to win the Cavs a playoff game, and Danny Green did not. But if you look at the Knicks,
we should have got.
Did Isaiah Hartenstein win a game? Did Josh Hart win a game for them?
Hart won one.
Yes.
So
Duncan Robinson,
Mitchell Robinson.
Robinson.
I just mixed 2 cats. That cat is actually good. Duncan Robinson.
He got a jumper.
That means he got a jumper and he physical like that and block shots. Duncan Robinson is like elite low key. All defensive team.
He an elite shooter. But somebody do from the Heat?
I'm saying Duncan Robinson and mixed with Mitchell Robinson.
Oh, mixed. That'd be ridiculous.
Duncan Robinson is crazy.
Elite shooter that can grab boards and hold the paint down. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Jameis' coach just texted me. He's logging in the system right now, so we'll get to him in 10 minutes. But Ant, Let's get a read, and we'll get to our Guardians topic before we bring on Jameis's coach.
Yeah, guys, you guys can say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the tournament. Whether you're betting on a big upset or a number one seed, it's time to go dancing on America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines. You can even pick who's going to win it all. All you'd have to do is visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to bet on college hoops until they cut down the nets.
All right, let's talk Guardians. Tomorrow night is opening night for the Cleveland Guardians. I am very against starting the season on the West Coast. They play the Oakland Athletics. First pitch is at like 10:17 Eastern time, so it's going to be a late Thursday night for us. We'll go around the horn, 10 minutes, guys. Who is your breakout player of the season for the Cleveland Guardians?
Andres Jimenez, because he had a terrible season last year after he got paid, and I don't think he's that type of guy. I think he knows that, listen, if we're going to be good and want to make a playoff run, he got to be much better than what he was last year. I mean, he was a Gold Glove, 2 years ago? So I expect him to have a big season. I know Jose going to do his thing. I need somebody else to ride with Jose, and the second best player to me is Jimenez.
G. Bush, who's your breakout star for the Guardians in 2024?
Bo Naylor.
That's a good one.
Easy money. I need you. We need to get 19, 20 home runs out of you, big dog. We need that big homie. There's a lot of cats, that they bring it up and different young dudes, and I'm saying they keeping Manzardo and Delauder down there. Okay, well, are you gonna do that? We need 20 from you, bro. I'm not trying to see Anthony stunt double Hedges. I'm not trying to see him.
That's World Series champion,
Man,
Austin Hedges.
Listen, I'm not trying to see him. I've never been a fan of baseball. Has the craziest unwritten rules about, like, I don't need nobody rubbing my shoulders for $8 million, bro. He rubbing shoulders for $8 million. Yeah, you can do it. We great, man. I'm a good locker room guy. Because you got your mixed CD in there. Like, just because you play a mixed CD and you run around and you joke and tell fart jokes to everybody, that's what they pay you $8 million? No. I need Bo Naylor out here getting his money off. I need 20 home runs. I need you to make the catcher position a power position, and you and your brother hold each other accountable. Hey, Naylor, you can't fall off. Listen, you had a breakout year. We need another year like that from you too. We can't have nobody falling off. You can hit lefties now. You and your brother is cool. Y'all can go to Denny's and all that and have Grand Slam breakfast before the game. Y'all need to be locked in together. I need 40 home runs from y'all, at least minimum.
Denny's?
Yeah, Denny's.
So, Andres Jimenez, I feel like he's kind of a cop-out pick, Tyvis.
It
No
is.
offense, because
He
already
good.
had a breakout season. He's an established player. Bo Naylor, I'll buy that one. I was going to go with Chase DeLauder, but because he's not on the Major League team to start the season, I went with a different guy. By the way, he should be on the Major League team, and I expect to see him by May 1st. I think he will be on the Major League team by May 1st. I'm going with Tyler Freeman, guys, and here's why.
I like that pick.
First off, Jason told us when he was in Arizona about a month ago, hey, keep an eye on this Tyler Freeman kid. They're trying him out in center field. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but they don't really have a ton of options in center field, so maybe he's a guy that can win that position. Tom Hamilton came on the show and said Tyler Freeman's a guy who had impressed him throughout his entire stay in Arizona. Not only impressed in center field, but impressed enough at the position that the Cleveland Guardians felt comfortable sending Miles Straw, who they still owe close to $20 million to, and we know how, I don't want to say cheap, but how cheap of a franchise they've been over the last few years, down to AAA. He cleared waivers so they could keep a roster spot open for Tyler Freeman. Jason also said a couple of weeks ago, I think this guy's a 280 professional hitter. He's hit in the college levels. He's hit in the minor league levels. He's going to hit in the pros. So looked at his stats last year. Hit 267 last season. In spring training this year, he's hitting just shy of 300, 297 with the home run, 4 RBIs. His OPS is 825, which is above the major league average. I'm not sure I considered Tyler Freeman to be in that same class of prospects the Guardians had with the Arias and the Gavin Williams and the Bibees, that top tier. Maybe I'm wrong for not including him in that category. Maybe he was, and I'll admit if I'm wrong,
I like
my
him,
bad.
but I like him.
But I always thought he was a guy that had potential and is a name we've been hearing for a while. And the fact that he was able to carve out a spot at a position he's not used to, that'd be like Tyvis going to Browns camp, coming in as a defensive back and making the 53-man roster as a wide receiver. You're capable of it, but it wasn't what you came in. He impressed enough
Easy
defensively
money.
at a secondary position on top of his capabilities at the plate that I do think Tyler Freeman is going to become a staple of this Guardians team for years to come. So he is the guy I'm choosing as my breakout candidate for 2024.
Man, we watching. We
sure going. Well,
We watching.
that 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, I won't be on. I won't.
I am. I'm gonna watch the first couple of innings. I will do that.
You know what I mean? I'll be trying to tell myself I'm gonna go to sleep, but I ain't going to sleep. I'll be.
I'm gonna definitely watch the first couple of innings. But
What time's the first pitch? It's like 10:45.
10
It's like 10:17. And that is a very late, and I'm sending you his contact information right now.
11 o'clock, the TV going off though. So unless they out there just hitting home run after home run, but 11 o'clock TV going off. But I do want to see it.
It should be good. And it'll be it's Shane Bieber versus I believe J.P. Sears is getting the first start for Blackburn is getting the start for Oakland in week 1.
They better win. I can see them dropping the first game. Like my gut tells me that they're gonna drop the first game.
Why?
Because that's just
Why?
what they do. That's just what they do.
G.
Man, they gonna have to,
Oakland's terrible.
That's why I see them dropping the first game.
I think they're gonna have to do some stuff to generate some buzz. I think they got to generate more of a buzz. If they can get some wins off top, that'll help. You know what I'm saying? If they can come back to the crib and be like 5-2.
That'd be nice.
6-2.
That would be. It'd be nice.
They start the season in Oakland,
And then the Mariners.
then the Mariners, then they play Minnesota, I believe. Then they come home back to Cleveland. They play 9 games in a row, or 10 games, 9 or 10 games before they.
They play Minnesota.
Maybe if you could be 7-3, you come back to the crib 7-3.
I'm pulling up the schedule right now. Hold on one sec.
You know what? No, they're gonna win. They're gonna win tomorrow. Bieber on the mound. They should.
Yeah,
win
they
that.
so they play 3 games against Minnesota in Minnesota. After they play 3 games in Seattle against Seattle. After they play 4 games in Oakland against the A's.
They gotta
So
play
10
4 games in Oakland.
10 games to start the season on the road
They
before
better
they
at
come
least
home
be 3-1
for the home
after
opener.
Oakland. They better at least be 3-1.
They got a bunch of other candidates as Anthony tries to figure out the video situation with Coach Otis. We got audio though at least, so we'll have Coach on in a sec. But they had a couple other candidates who I think could be poised for breakout seasons. A couple of the young guys. Rocchio at shortstop is going to get a chance to prove what he is. We talked about Gabriel Arias, who has not lived up to expectations and I think is going to be a platoon guy to start because Rocchio beat him out at shortstop. David Fry, another guy who made the Major League roster. Wow. As a utility guy, can play catcher, can play the corner outfield spots if needed. Stephen Vogt's looking at this whole lineup with a different approach. He is not going by the same guardrails Francona had put on this team for the last few seasons. So I'm curious to see how he handles early season successes and failures and whether or not he'll stick with some of the guys that traditionally have stayed in the lineup even if they've struggled early because that was Francona's style. Will Vogt continue that, or are we going to see a completely different change in philosophy of if you ain't hitting, you ain't playing?
Here, you know,
I don't mind that.
So you had a regime change, did you? Were you on, did you ever play for, what's his name? Fickle?
No, when I got there, Urban was there.
He was already there. So you never really experienced like a regime change, right?
No.
The best thing you can do, like I had like 3 coaches, right? And I've been on each of the spectrums. I've been a guy who, when they recruited me, I could do no wrong. I had to go to class. I had to do nothing. It's just like, you come out here and
You
ball
didn't
out.
go to class?
No, I ain't had to do nothing.
You didn't go to
I
class?
still didn't, no.
I never missed a class. You know that?
What?
You didn't miss a day of high school either.
I know.
Hey, listen, my thing was...
That was my thing. My mama didn't play that. And when I got to college, it was
boys
still
and
in
girls,
my mind.
Boys and girls don't do this now. It's a different era. But back then, I was like, as long as I had a syllabus, I'm good.
Yeah. No, but there's a lot of classes you can get away with.
Right, like give me that syllabus.
You was doing that?
Oh, bro, give me that syllabus. Listen, I see that syllabus. I'll catch you in 3 months.
Y'all ain't had a class checker?
Man, back then, bro, like, let me tell you what.
She's old. You got to remember a lot of this
So
stuff.
what? They had class checkers.
No, here's what it was. Back then, it was so many, like, OU was like They called it Hocking, Harvard on the Hocking.
Yeah, y'all was party central.
But the party, but it was much more it was much more beneficial.
Y'all had like the thing where it's like y'all was ranked like number one,
Yeah.
and then somebody was about to take y'all's spot, so y'all had to start partying more.
We had to start kicking it up. Like that was what was important. Like I was like, yeah, I got like a B in econ, but I got an A in party, and my party game is crazy.
That's crazy, G.
Well, the Guardians start their season tomorrow night. So make sure y'all. Did we lose him, Matt?
Yeah, I think as soon as I told you we had him, he froze. So give me 1 second.
All right, well, do a read, or I'll do a read. I'll promote here. Just hit the button. I'll do a read. Get him back ready. If y'all missed the Ultimate Cav show last night, make sure you tune in and check it out. It is on the YouTube channel. Ultimate 216 with Earl the Pearl airs tomorrow night, 5 p.m. His conversation with Cecil Shorts continues on Friday. It's G. Bush on the Ultimate Brown show as always. That's also every Monday as well. Join the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show lineup, the Ultimate Guardian show. Also on Mondays, that is Bo and Zach Meisel joining the team, and that was a great first episode. They'll have a ton to break down coming off the Guardians' weekend series against Oakland and starting their series against the Mariners to prepare you coming up next Monday. So make sure you guys tune in, check it out, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We can listen in podcast form if you're not currently watching. And Anthony's doing a great job directing and telling me if we have Coach back. So still working on it. All right. So let me set up this interview real quick. Hit the other transition button, Ant, so we could clip that. You got to end the transition. Beautiful. All right. We're going to set up this interview here. On Friday, we did a segment, and we called it Jameis Winston will be your new favorite member of the Cleveland Browns. Mm-hmm. You weren't here. You were here Friday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We went through some of Jameis's workout clips, some of his interviews, some of just the funniest Jameis moments that we could find on the interweb. And let me tell you, Jameis Winston's a funny dude. And he can play football. He has some prolific numbers from the NFL, from college, and he does things in some untraditional ways, which is how we got in touch with his his personal trainer, Coach Otis, who's going to join us here in a second, to explain how they came about coming up with some of these workouts that have allowed Jameis Winston to go from being a 5-star recruit to a Heisman Trophy winner to a national champion to the first overall draft pick to throwing for 5,000 yards in a season and now being...
He threw 5 racks before?
5 racks. Bruce Arians' air raid offense.
D-Watt got to come 5 now.
Man, you already know. You got to.
Gotta come
Got to. Go,
and that was the old rules, too.
Yeah, we up top now. He going to be telling him, hey, when he come, hey, Jameis, hey, listen, you got to go up top. Stop checking it down. We don't know. Check darn Charlie's, bro.
Yo, go to 50-50 ball.
Real quick, breaking news from Jason Lloyd.
What?
Cavaliers All-Star Donovan Mitchell targeting a return to action Friday at home against the 76ers, sources tell.
Jason Lloyd tweets.
Jason Lloyd breaking news?
Well, him and Shams work together to break some of those kind of stories. So.
I didn't even know Jason tweeted like that.
So what is Friday?
Or
76ers.
Or X like that.
So how many more games?
Tonight, he misses tonight, is back next.
All right. So now what you gonna say? You guaranteeing him the 3rd spot now?
I mean, listen, he came back, played 2 games, was ready to play. The whole nose thing was just a facade for
knee injury. Will he have to wear the mask?
I'm sure he's going to be wearing a mask.
The Bane mask?
He broke his nose. I mean, he broke his nose.
Hey, man.
They called it a nasal fracture, but you can't fracture your nose. It's a broken nose, yeah. So that is from Shams. Donovan's return, more imminent than expected. And we're still working to get Coach Otis back on. So
yeah, I'm working on it here, guys. I'll let you know as soon as he's ready. Sorry about that.
He was in, though, right? We did have him in the system.
For like 5 seconds.
So Tyvis, when you was at Oak State, did y'all have curfew? Like during the season?
What do you mean?
Like, did you have curfew where it was like, hey, yo, like if you're on the team, you got curfew, you can't be out after like 11 or something?
Who told you? No.
Y'all didn't have that?
No. The only curfew we had was the night before the game where we was in the hotel.
Okay, so we used to have this, what's the name rule?
Heck no.
We was partying so tough.
Especially after 15. Hey, 15.
That goes.
After you win it all, boy.
We was partying so hard that they was hitting us with
2-day
rule.
I'm trying to go on a
with a
remix
2-day
just to
rule.
make
We
sure.
had a 48-hour rule, but it wasn't about no party.
Yeah, it was 48. No, you can't be. You doing too much out here. We was throwing parties at, like.
Oh, y'all was wild.
No, listen. They postponed bus trips home. There's like, we already know y'all got a party ready to go, and they used to let us stay with what's the name players too, non-athletes.
All right, so we now have Coach Otis. We teased it. We are thrilled, honored, and frankly, this has been a long time coming. Coach Otis, Jameis Winston's personal trainer, joining us here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Coach, how you doing today?
I am doing great, man. Happy to be in the mix. Want to mix it up with you guys and answer some of the much needed to be answered questions about Jameis Winston and the way we train.
Man, listen, Coach Otis. I've been listening. I watch y'all on Instagram. I'll be seeing y'all on YouTube, and it's crazy. Did we lose him?
No, he's still good. He just
Okay.
that just means he got a text message.
Okay,
so.
cool. So yeah, but it's, some of the crazy stuff that y'all be doing. Can you put this to rest? Who started the hip twerking pregame stuff? Was that Dak Prescott or Jameis Winston?
I don't know if we have Coach here.
I hear him in the background. I got some audio.
We have audio. I don't know where he went, though.
All right, well, we'll continue to work
Give
on
me
that.
a
We
second
did
to
have
work with
Coach
this.
Otis here for a sec. He's been Jameis' trainer, by the way, since the 8th grade. Otis himself played in the NFL for 4 seasons. He played with the Washington Redskins, the San Diego Chargers, and the San Francisco 49ers. So he is a well-accomplished NFL player in his own right. And then he got to train in Jameis. He trains a couple other professional athletes. Amir Abdullah, I believe, was another one on his list. Modern Day Fitness is their training company, so we will make sure we try and get Coach Otis back on to give us the answers to the questions we've been dying to know, is how Jameis came up with some of these unique but effective training videos and what Jameis is going to bring to the Cleveland Browns. So, Ant, you keep working on Coach Otis, and we'll keep stalling for time here.
Yeah, they prolonged y'all bus trips because y'all was partying like that.
Oh yeah, so
And y'all got the room with 9 athletes.
yeah, they figured out that was a bad thing.
Y'all was throwing parties in the dorms like that.
So one of our football players was a RA.
Now, why would they do that?
Yeah, that seems backwards. That seems counterintuitive.
It was like you talk about the wild West. It was nuts. Like at that time, you was no more for partying. So it was like back then, like OU was the only place in the world where if you played a sport, they didn't care about that. You play baseball, you play football, who cares about that? You might trying to see that. But if you was a bartender. No, I'm not. Listen, shout out to if anybody know that's watching this. Like, shout out to Brony. Shout out to Cat's Eye. Shout out to the Pub, the Pigskin, the CI, the Crystal, Tony's, the Junction. When you was bartending there, that was like you was a max player. You got free drinks. You could give underage people free drinks. You let all the people in from the dorms. You was a king out there back then, bro. So you was trying to get your little bar game on. You know what I'm saying? You was trying to be a little bar back or something back then. Them was the really hot dudes. They got everything moving. Just shut it down. So yeah. So we was throwing parties, man.
Athens, Ohio.
Yeah, man. Steve, no. Ask Steve.
While we're waiting,
You think Director Steve know?
Of course.
Yeah, he that. No,
Director Steve definitely knows.
Well,
you didn't even have to
Steve
go to
ain't no
OU to know the
partying
party
guy.
school side of OU.
yes.
My senior year, the water got shut off, and it became a bar city. Like, all the bars opened early because there was no water, so everybody just drank beer.
While we're waiting for Coach Otis, I got a topic I want to throw at you guys.
All right. Let's see what we.
Unprepared. The NCAA tournament gets back into action tomorrow night, the Sweet 16.
Okay.
LeBron James never went to college.
correct.
Went straight to the NBA.
Sure didn't.
Do you think if LeBron went to Akron for one season,
Championship. That's it. Don't say it.
they could have won an NCAA championship?
Yes, sir.
No,
You say no, you say yes.
Come on, Tyvus.
stop it,
Tyvus.
Garrett.
I saw Carmelo Anthony win the championship.
My point exactly.
I see Carmelo just go through the NCAA tournament like
At
a hot
Akron,
knife through,
but
hot knife
he
through
was
butter.
also at Syracuse.
Don't matter.
Yes, it does.
LeBron James,
Who won it this year? Emeka Okafor?
It was the year before. No, it was Kansas. It was Kirk Heinrich.
Oh, he's not getting no buckets.
I think. It'd be a 2002 NCAA championship.
LeBron James, you got to think about it like this. LeBron James went to the league and averaged 20.
Yeah.
What do you think he would have did coming out of high school in the NCAA tournament?
He probably would average 30.
30, 35. Easy.
Listen, Steph Curry.
Yeah, it was Okafor in 2004. It would have been that year.
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. He didn't even get it done.
He was 6. Steph Curry is a little guy. LeBron James is 6'8".
What year was this, you say?
Yeah.
So it'd be the year after
This was 2002.
Carmelo Anthony won. Yes.
2002.
Bro, he's in there getting whatever he wants.
You said Kansas won it with Kyrie?
No, it was UConn. You're
UConn.
right. It was the Emeka Okafor UConn.
Oh,
And he had another Division One.
I mean-
Romeo Travis went D1. Like he was on that team with Akron.
All right, we got Coach back. We're going to see if it works better this time. Coach, we apologize for the technical difficulties. We know you've been working with Jameis since the 8th grade, so I'm curious, how did you and Jameis first get connected, and now this relationship has obviously blossomed for almost 2 decades?
I think he froze again.
Yeah, we'll work on this. Sometimes technology wants to cooperate.
I'd like to
Sometimes.
say, first show I've had a guest since before Brown season, and I just can't get him in.
Blaming Anthony today. It's all Anthony's fault. We appreciate Coach Otis for trying here. If it doesn't work today, we'll definitely get him back on. Maybe we got to try the Zoom plug-in, Steve. This may be the time we get forced to use Zoom. But back to Akron.
Yes, Akron. They had Romeo Travis. They had some guys on there that could play ball. Akron would have won the championship. Facts.
How many NBA players right now, if you put them on Stetson, could win the NCAA tournament this season?
What do you mean?
Like how many?
How many players would it take for?
No. Like you put LeBron on Stetson, are they winning the tournament this year? If you put how many NBA guys could single-handedly carry Stetson, who was a 16 seed in the tournament, to an NCAA championship?
All the top 10 players in the league?
None. It's a different game.
No. Joker
would. Yeah.
I think
it's like
Jason Tatum,
I think it's like
LeBron,
12.
Anthony Davis.
None.
Could Donovan Mitchell
Yes.
lead Stetson?
Yes.
No.
He'd had 45.
He couldn't do it at
60.
Louisville.
He's not the same player now as he was at Louisville.
Not the same.
You're right, because when he got drafted, I didn't know who he was. And he turned up.
Same
thing with Jason
And
Tatum.
at least back when we was playing, you knew these guys' names, right?
Listen, this is the ultimate team game, okay? Like, one dude ain't just about to just do it like that. Like, LeBron is special. Giannis is special.
Jokic. Yeah. Nothing you do
I
with that.
I don't think he can win it by
Are
himself.
you serious?
I don't think he can.
Jokic?
I don't think he do it by himself. I mean, he put a lot of people on. I don't think. Like,
Zach Edey's about to win it by himself.
By itself.
Stop
almost.
it. Stop it. No, he's not. No, he's not. Look, Purdue's not winning.
I agree, but I'm just saying,
He's not.
that's a one-man team.
Amani Bates is winning it by itself. Stop playing around.
Stop. That's
Stop playing around, bro. You see what he did? Hit 3 threes coming in the game. This is unacceptable right now, McNuggets. They hating him out. I feel like they watch this.
Stop.
I feel like JB watches it and be like, man, I'm tired of that fat dude on UCSS. The black fat dude. He be talking crazy. I'm like, man, I'm not even want to just shut up. But no, these guys ain't. Come on, man. These guys ain't that good.
Steve Becker just texted us, could this year's UConn team beat an NBA team?
No.
Vegas put out a line the other day. They would be 49.5, according to Vegas. UConn versus the Celtics, 49.5-point underdogs. UConn has 0 chance to beat an NBA team. A college team beating a pro team, it's never going to happen.
This ain't even the best college team I've ever seen.
No.
You got UNLV.
They don't have a lottery pick. You'd have to have a dude. Well, they have like Stephon Cass is a late lottery pick. They don't have like a guy, like a dominant A1 player. So yeah, not a chance.
No, if somebody beat. No. Stop.
Not a chance.
No, you're not beating no pro teams. Like it's too different. Like Like even professional, like even guys like what's the name? D'Angelo Russell would just go crazy.
Go Bucks.
Medium dudes, medium sauce guys. Like guys.
D'Angelo Russell would cook UConn.
Like he'd have like 50 and 12 and 16 boards or something stupid. Like listen, think about it. Isaac Okoro will get buckets against UConn.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Dean Wade would be Big East Player of the Year, and it
The
wouldn't be
Vanilla
close.
Wolf himself would get buckets out here.
Has he scored 22 points since that Celtics game?
No. He was like, listen, I think he just gracefully bowed out. He was like,
That's what I'm saying. I know he's been hurt. But
he like, nah, I'm straight. Like, I'm cool.
I had my moment.
Strus did the same thing. Strus hit a half-court shot. I was like, I'm cool. Him and Dean Wade went on vacation.
well, he's been out.
Out.
What is his injury?
Struce, sore knee. Is it elbow or knee? I forget. Elbow or knee?
Elbow, I think.
Elbow. Should I just keep running it? I got a whole list of topics just for shows. Should I just start throwing out topics?
Yeah,
Did you also see they're trying to ban prop betting from college sports?
I just saw that, bro. Steve.
Oh, they're trying to ban prop betting?
Yeah, Steve Becker sent us the article. I didn't get a chance to read it while I was back here.
Why are they banning prop betting?
I think they said to protect the player safety for the college students.
As opposed, so if someone bets on,
They did that with Ohio sports. Now you can't bet on the props for like football games now.
can't.
College, you can't bet like I can't say Emeka Ibuka's gonna have over 100 yards. Like you can't do that. No.
Is that to avoid a Jonte Porter potential situation or avoid?
No, I think they're doing it because kids are receiving death threats from bettors.
And I just got an email from Jameis's team. They said that Wi-Fi at the hotel is bad. He's going to try logging in somewhere else. So just a heads up.
Okay, sounds good.
So, like, that ain't gonna do nothing, man. Like,
What?
it's already like
The sports
the
bettors?
gambling is already out, man. Like it's done. Like you've already let it go. People been gambling for years on fantasy teams. Like, what's the difference? Like, everybody in the world got a fantasy parlay. Everybody got a fantasy team, and everybody got bread on them. People in multiple fantasy leagues, and we watch it every single week to see how many yards you got. Please don't go. Please don't have the outrage that now. Oh my gosh, props. That's what fantasy is. A bunch of props. What are you talking about? Like, it just don't make no sense.
Well, they make you bet straight up on the team. They either gonna win or they gonna lose. That's it.
All right, you want to should I just run off topics from my list real quick?
We can run off top. What if we ran off topics from the list and asked whether they're good or not? Like, you grade whether they're trash or good.
Ask the chat.
Ask the chat. Ask the chat. Garbage or good? Put the ones if you like it, two if it's trash.
Well, some of these are just takes I got cooking in the cooker that I'm not sure I'm ready to unveil yet.
Look, now here. Let me tuck these.
Now
These is not fleshed out enough, Tyvis.
All right, wait, here, you ready for this one? Mm-hmm. And by the way, so I just keep a running list. This is literally 2 years. Some of these are super old.
All right.
Don't necessarily know what inspired these.
All right.
Would you rather be a Bills fan or a Washington fan? Good and lose tragically every year, or just never be good and not get your expectations up?
The first one.
Yeah, at least I could. Yeah, I'm gonna take the first one. At least I can enjoy some dubs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The one I see what you're going with, like, but give me some dubs, man. Give me a couple wins. Like, if we gotta take these L's at the end, it's cool.
All right, we're gonna do this one day, so we'll do this quick, but we're also gonna do this one day.
All right.
For basketball,
All right.
teams outside of the play-in, so seeds 1 through 10, are not available.
Okay.
You get to rent a player for the playoffs from a team in your conference below the play-in. Yeah, pull up the standings. Pull up the standings.
So
get to
Brooklyn,
rent a player-
Brooklyn,
yeah.
Toronto, Charlotte, Washington, Detroit,
Yeah, rent a player from one of those.
Houston, Utah, Memphis, Portland, or San Antonio. Oh, Wemby.
Eastern Conference.
Oh, it's got to be in the
Eastern Conference. Who would the Cavs rent for a playoff stretch?
Mikal Bridges,
Nah.
Cam Thomas.
Nah.
Nah, definitely not Cam Thomas. But Bridges are ahead of that.
Scotty Barnes.
Nah, he can't shoot, though. You can't have another non-shooter.
Hey, listen.
I'll take Bridges.
I like what he brings to the table. Hold on, I tripped.
Cade Cunningham.
Hell no.
Hold on, I should.
I'm looking at it, and you act like it's a great
No, that's
group
not.
of people to pick from.
Well, in
here.
the West, it's more interesting. Who would the Nuggets take?
Who would the Nuggets take?
'Cause they don't need Wemby. You can't take Wemby
Who?
if you're Denver.
Laurie Markkinen or Jalen Green.
You think?
Yeah.
We should open this up for the
Because
Cavs,
you can't
too.
get Ja because he's out. Portland has nobody, and Wemby's the only other player that's for San Antonio. So you can either go with Laurie Markkinen, Colin Sexton, or Jalen Green.
Marketing would be a nice fit there. That stretch four.
Yeah. Kick Aaron Gordon out. Boop.
All right, can I give you all a spicy take that I'm not 100% sure I believe in? I haven't fleshed this fully out yet.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Earl, don't clip this. This is for live viewers. And I saw what you just said. Don't clip this. This is for live viewers. I'm not even fully sure I believe this yet,
All right.
but I had a thought. Let me ask you all a question.
We're going to see if it's even a spicy take.
Malik Neighbors ran a 4.35 with a 42-inch vertical.
Damn.
I know.
G, let me ask you this. Is Darius Garland the NBA's Baker Mayfield?
What do you mean by that?
Good but not good enough? Consistently inconsistent? Shows flashes of elite potential? Divisive in the fan base? Either love him or you hate him. There's very little in between.
He's our version.
Yeah, what to say?
Well, yeah, Cleveland.
He's our version. I would say.
No true elite skill, but good at a lot of things.
Yeah, from a skill standpoint, I think he might be a little undersized.
Undersized?
Yeah, he's not a lightning rod like Baker was, but
He is in a different way.
I'm about to say,
I think
Injury prone.
in the way I think people believe that Darius Garland is better than what he is, and he's really good at that. But he's not. If you go through it, and you got to do the exercises, it's always like this. You have to write down the other names of the people that he is in contention with, so you can understand that he's not that good. Yes, he's
Baker or
good.
Darius?
No, Darius.
Yeah.
So when you start writing down point guards and you start getting to him, it's like, well, dang, he's nowhere near like
He's 12-ish.
He's like 12 to 15, and he's closer to 15 than 12. Because at least some of the people, like if you say Trae Young's a better passer and a shooter.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's taking Darius over Trey.
Even Kyrie Irving, I don't think I got Kyrie in the top 10.
what?
Like it's strictly point guard.
Yes.
Hey, we're going to reschedule Coach Otis, by the way. He just texted me. I'm going to read this real quick. Sorry the Wi-Fi here is terrible, but we will definitely get together. I really want to talk to you guys. God bless. Have a great day. So we'll definitely get you, Coach, back on soon. Apologies to everyone out there for the Wi-Fi issue, but we'll absolutely get Coach Otis here in hopefully a few days. And we got a FanDuel or a Game Time read and some Super Chats.
Yeah, I want to remind you guys that as the Guardian season starts up, you're going to want to get your tickets, and Game Time has the best deals on tickets right up to the start of the event. Even an hour after the event starts, it's the place to find all your last-minute tickets. It's good for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, theater, all of the above. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but you just have to create your account and redeem the code for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Is he a PG?
Who?
Yes.
Devin Booker's the point guard.
Booker doesn't count as a point
Thank
guard
you.
for that conversation.
So I just gave him.
It's
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander
he's
is a point guard.
two.
He's a point guard.
Josh Giddey's the point guard.
SJ is a better call to be their point guard than.
Oh my God.
Are you trying to list the point guards?
I'm just showing them. I say Kyrie might not be in the top 10, but
I'm taking Kyrie over James Harden.
And read your Super Chats, then we'll do top point guards. Hold on.
Yeah, I got two of them for you real quick. From our friend Daryl, UCSS goes hard. Shout out to Tyvis G and McNuggets. Earl, best sports show in the town, bar none. And then from
Appreciate
Set Apart
that.
Laz, the
Appreciate
Browns
that.
have to come out hard and fast. # pause.
So,
You did that. They be doing that on purpose,
hey,
man.
listen, man. Hey,
Y'all had when
you can't be playing for
when
the
you
pauses.
type it and you read it.
It's
You
like,
have all the chance to switch it.
Yeah, you could have snuffed that out. But shout out to you. Hey, look.
All right, hey, I'm gonna read this and keep a tally because sometimes it's hard to read and count at the same time. I'm gonna give you a player who's listed on ESPN as a point guard. You tell me if you take that player or Darius. We'll see how many we take before we take Darius.
All right, y'all can play along at home too.
Yeah, play along in the chat. Luka.
Come on, give me Luka.
Next.
I'm gonna ask.
All right, Luka.
I'm gonna ask.
Luka.
SGA.
SGA.
Brunson.
Steph.
De'Aaron Fox.
Swiper.
Trae Young. Tyrese
Maxey.
Damian
Lillard.
Jamal Murray. Halliburton.
That's 10 right there.
Kyrie.
It's 11.
That's 11. Now it gets to where you could have your conversation.
Now we can start having.
Drew Holiday. I think it depends on the team. It depends on the team.
Drew Holiday.
Significantly better defensive player.
Can still give you. I'm going Drew Holiday. I'm sorry.
If you want to argue, what are you looking at me for?
I'm just listening.
Look, he couldn't say nothing so far. His mouth was tied with peanut butter. He couldn't just.
If you want to argue either way, I'll hear you. I'll hear you both ways on that
All right.
one.
Here you
But
go.
Drew Holiday's a championship player, a gold medalist.
All right, so I got 12.
They consider Derek White a point guard.
No,
I don't think he's a point guard.
he's not.
Colin Sexton.
No, Colin's not. Colin ain't. No.
He's not passing.
So that's the first person, but I still got guys over that.
Oh, I'm not done reading these. I'm just, like I said, I'm going through in order here. Cade Cunningham.
Give me
He's
Cunningham.
a point guard?
Yeah, give me
He's
Cunningham.
listed as a point guard.
And how tall is he?
He's tall. He's like 6'6", 6'7". He's a
Yeah,
big-
give me
big
Cade
guy,
Cunningham.
yeah. Fred VanVleet.
No, I'll take. Yeah, come on. No.
I'm just reading.
All right, so I got 13 above him right now. 13.
That's probably the only ones you could have an art. You're not taking like Jordan Clarkson, obviously no. What about Kobe White?
No.
He's had a good season, averaging
No.
20 and 7 this season.
And I would take Darius over LaMelo Ball too.
Oh, I didn't even count LaMelo because he's been hurt so much.
Ja Morant.
But Ja's
That's
definitely in
14.
there. Guys who haven't played enough aren't even
Pistol
on this,
Pete. I'm
on this
taking Pistol
list.
Pete.
James Harden.
I'll take. Did James Harden today? Darius.
I'm gonna keep it funky. I'll take Darius over James Harden.
DeJounte Murray.
Darius. I can't stand that dude.
That's a push. I'll go with Darius.
And that's probably all the guys you could argue as point guard. Everyone else is more of a 2, a legitimate 2.
I got a question for y'all.
So that's 14 guys.
He's between 12 and 15.
With the range, that could be, if he was more consistent, he'd be.
He was on a trajectory a couple of years ago to be 8, 9.
He has the potential to get way up that list.
Like he
has the
that
potential to
trajectory.
significantly climb. The issue is it's just the inconsistency right now.
Right? Like if you're not going to be, and plus I always go to this. Those guys above him have either elite size, elite length, elite shooters.
Speaking of that, we're going to do this. I don't know if we'll do it this week or next week. We're going to do a draft of Cleveland Cavaliers individual skill sets. So, we'll do a little teaser right now. If you would pick 1-1 in this, you could pick any. Mobley's rebounding, Darius's whatever you want. Is there a consensus 1-1? What is the best singular skill on this Cavaliers team right now?
Donovan Mitchell's killer instinct.
Or
I'm not going with that.
I would probably give Donovan Mitchell's explosiveness.
So we all took Mitchell. I think it's, driving ability and explosiveness are very similar.
Yeah.
But his ability to create stuff.
He has the elite ability to just get by you. Like he's by you. Like
Yes,
it's
he
not
does.
like he ain't got to take 35 dribbles.
Sam Merrill shooting.
That was my number 2 pick for number 1 overall. That was my number 2 pick. Sam Merrill's a better shooter than anyone on the Cavs individually as a rebounder.
Isaac Okoro's defense.
That's another great pick. So we're gonna do a draft. We're gonna do a draft
I like
of that. Probably next week. I don't know if we'll have time for it this week. We'll do it next week. And it is really tough to fill 30 minutes.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I was working with him the whole time.
No.
Good job, guys.
It's not you. He, like I said, it was.
We should have. You know what we should have did? We should have looked at we should have went this year and looked at the quarterbacks that's going to be drafted. Let's say the top 4. But let's leave Caleb Williams out. Us 3, we all should pick a quarterback who we think is going to succeed and see next year who won.
Well, who would you take? We got 2 minutes.
Well, I can't pick Caleb, so it's Daniels.
Wait, can I ask you an honest
May.
question? Let's say that for overtime. I got a real quick question on Caleb.
Okay.
Did you see the video of him at the game the other day?
What game?
He was at the USC women's basketball game.
Okay.
And people made a big fuss because he had a pink phone case, a pink wallet, and pink nail polish on at the game.
If you got a problem with that,
Yeah, like I don't have a problem with that, but
Overrated.
like from a locker room standpoint, like are people gonna have an issue if he's a unique individual like that? And more power to him, in all honesty. But like, do people actually care about that? Because a lot of people online were like, "How could this be the leader of your team?"
Are you saying
If he can play, he can play.
What do you mean? Like,
Are you saying are they gonna clown him for having pink nail polish?
Yeah,
on?
is he able to be the team leader if he's a different kind of cat?
leading has nothing to do with all of that, you know.
As long as he throwing
I'm
that
about to say, if you out on the field,
I have no
if you
issue.
saying
Real
the
quick,
right
let me
thing,
clarify. I have no issue.
Listen, if you putting the work in and you doing and you saying the right stuff and you helping us win, you can be a leader. I don't care about all that extra stuff at all. I mean, everybody says whatchamacallit's a weirdo. Russell, they say Russell would do all this weird stuff, but at the end of the day, he was a good leader.
Listen, I'm just curious how that plays in the locker room.
Dennis Rodman had a dress on Sports Illustrated. It works.
See you in overtime. Peace.